It's up to him.
Let's do it. Good evening and welcome to Edward T. Barry Ice Rink here in Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudras. Happy to have you here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network for the 2019 NCAA Division III Men's Hockey Championships. It's a first-round matchup between UMass Boston and Manhattanville. And Matt, when we look at these two teams, the Beacons of UMass Boston got in here with an at-large bid by winning the regular season title in the NEHC and then losing to Hobart in the semifinal. Meanwhile, the Valiants of Manhattanville had a valiant effort in overcoming Utica to win their conference title and get the automatic bid into this tournament. The Beacons are hosting for the first time in their history. Who is it harder for getting into this game? The team on the road that has to deal with this environment, or the team at home who has to manage their fans' high expectations?
You know, it's tough. It's hard for me to say. I think both of these teams come in with, interesting paths here. You look at Manhattanville, probably the hottest team coming into this tournament, rattled off, I think it was 8 wins in a row, and then the 2 in the tournament against teams that were, quite honestly, on paper, better teams, Utica and Elmira. So, you know, you look at that, and you're looking at a team that's coming in completely hot. I think a lot of coaches would probably prefer that, coming in with a streak like that into a game, a lot of momentum with stuff like that. With UMass Boston, you know, a little bit of the opposite approach. A team that did well all regular season, went into the tournament and lost 4-0 at home against Hobart, a game I think they would want to have back. For all intents and purposes, it seemed like the season was over. They were really on the cusp of whether or not they would get an at-large bid. Sure enough, they do. So they taste that defeat a little bit, which I think should help motivate them for this game. You know, talk about being on the brink and then sure enough, staying in the tournament. So tough call. Probably give the edge to Manhattanville a little bit just in terms of momentum. It's tough to win that many games in a row, so it might have a slight edge of momentum coming into this game, but should be close.
Yeah, Manhattanville 11-1-2 since January the 26th. Meanwhile, UMass Boston, it was so hot going into the NEHC tournament, lost to Hobart, and they haven't played in 15 days, so they certainly have some rest. Time will tell whether or not that is a boom or bust predicament for Peter Belisle's Beacons squad. Meanwhile, for UMass Boston coming into the campaign, there were a lot of questions coming off last year. They lost in a blowout in the NEHC tournament to one of their toughest competitors, of course, as always, Norwich. And when you look back at the way this season began, everybody was unsure about Bailey McBurney, the netminder for UMass Boston, and what to expect from him, whether or not he even be named the starter. He won the starter's job, and he has taken the bull by the horns. Outstanding, a GAA under to a save percentage over .930. He has been one of the best, if not the best, in the New England Hockey Conference and perhaps beyond. Look back at what Bailey McBurney did this year as a former Beacons goalie. Just how impressed are you?
It's quite possible he goes down as the best in the franchise or of the team all time. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Nothing more to be said there. I think the thing that impresses me with McBurney, there was a tendency for him to get rattled pretty quickly. When he first transferred here from Sacred Heart, it looked as though, you know, if he gave up a bad goal or if his team maybe let him down in coverage, it would be tough to recover, and we didn't see that this year. It was very evident this guy was in the zone really from game one. Like I said, numbers speak for themselves, but been thoroughly impressed with the way this man has handled his crease. I think on top of that, you know, it resembles a little bit of what we look at as the Tampa Bay Lightning. You know, an outstanding goaltender, but backstopped by a really strong defensive core. You take a look at this Beacons D, boy, you know, a lot of seniors really handle their coverage well, very rarely out of position. I think that plays into McBurney's stats as well.
And the Beacons are buoyed by the return of 2 players, one on D, Evan Helt, who hasn't played in months, and Justin Holliday at forward, who only played 8 games this year. He brings an added energy to the fourth line that Peter Belisle likes, on that line that you used to coin the yellow line back in your day, that he will continue to bring along with his fellow fourth liners. Meanwhile, looking over at Manhattanville, their netminder, Tyler Fever, he's had a bit of an up-and-down campaign. The numbers don't look great. An .899 save percentage, a goals against average of 2.83, approaching that 3.0 mark that you don't want. Yep. And yet, he's been red hot over the last month. He helped them sweep on the road in their conference tournament just to get into this tournament. What do you expect when you take a look at Fever? Sometimes a goalie can just get hot at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. I think numbers-wise, no comparison. McBurney has the advantage, but just watching some game film and watching him here, even in warm-ups, a very fast goaltender. Not going to impress you with his size, not overwhelming in the net. Definitely not one of the biggest goaltenders this UMass Boston team has faced, but clearly a goaltender moves very, very well, very quick. stays on his feet as long as possible and has the agility to cover a lot more net than might seem when you take first look. So I think a goaltender where you can beat him with a great shot, but boy, you really have to pick a corner. It's going to be tough to beat him otherwise.
It's going to be Fever versus McBurney. Will they catch the fever or feel the burn? Here from UMass Boston tonight. We'll find out very soon. One thing to keep an eye on, folks, this Manhattanville team has been very good on the road this year. 9-3 away from Rye, New York in 2018-19 for Manhattanville, as the Valiants have been valiant when they step onto road ice. Well, the Beacons, as we said, were an at-large team, barely got into this tournament. Let's take a look at the final pairwise rankings here on the pregame show on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And you take a look on your screen, Matt, just barely ahead of Adrian College and getting in here above Adrian, and an opportunity for the Beacons now to maybe play with house money, getting in here in a large bid and potentially make some noise.
Yeah, you see a lot of familiar names in that top 10 there with the pairwise. A lot of those teams are just consistent within this within their conference tournaments, and then as well as the national tournament as well. You take a look at the record of UMass Boston, 19-6-1, really strong year regular season-wise. I think, again, a little bit left to be desired in conference play. Probably we're looking for at least a finals matchup. To lose in the semifinals, something that left a little bit of desire left in this season, and a chance to redeem themselves here tonight. Absolutely.
We'll see which side comes out on top. But we'll continue along here on our pregame show by talking to head coach Peter Belisle, the UMass Boston Beacons. This is a place Peter Belisle's been before. Just 4 years ago, his team made it all the way to the Frozen Four in Lake Placid, New York. Hear from the head coach of UMass Boston and find out what the Beacons will need to get back to the Frozen Four here in 2019.
I think we had a good attitude with it. Obviously we're, heartbroken. You lose in the semis. You have such a good season. You don't know your fate. But we went with the attitude of like, hey, we're in the conversation of the tournament, and our body of work let us be in that conversation. So we went with the attitude of, hey, let's have some fun. We've got 10 seniors. Let's enjoy this time together. They earned another week of practicing, and we did a lot of small games, a lot of competition, and it was actually got pretty heated at times. But it was good, and my seniors actually, thanked me for a good week of practice. I got a nice text from our captain that Friday night, and it was pretty much hold on, strap on, see what happens over the weekend. And God was good to us, and the pairwise went our way. Yeah, with the first year, the pairwise, we're all watching it. Kids are asking me. I'm not sure exactly how. I'm not much of a math guy, so I wasn't sure. Corey and our commissioner would kind of keep me, monitored of maybe this could help it. We could jump somebody with a loss here or a win there, and just absolutely amazing how everything went in our favor apparently to get that last at-large spot. So we're very grateful. It's a second chance on life, and that's the way we're taking it. We were potentially dead, and now we've got new life, and I want the guys to take advantage of that. And know how it felt when our seniors were in tears, crying, and now you got a second chance, and let's just go out and play. You know what I mean? We've already died, and now we got another chance. Let's just go out and play and learn from our mistakes. Maybe we didn't stick together enough, or we weren't composed enough or disciplined enough. Well, let's be that this time. They beat a really good team. It's a good league. You know what I mean? They got 12 seniors. I thought we had a lot of seniors. We had 10. God, they got 12. So, it's going to be, I would imagine, a war of seniors on Saturday night. They're a big, heavy team. We know that. They play in a heavy league. And, we think we're big and heavy, too. So it's going to be a battle. Yeah, and no question. You look at that stats sheet of theirs, and they've got some weapons. And, we're going to have to contain that. And they've got some depth, too. And we're going to have to contain that as well. So we've got our work cut out for us. But, I think we're in a good headspace with our hockey team. We feel deep. We feel like we've got some weapons as well. So, like I said, we're grateful for the opportunity to be here. I think the experience is great. I think the first time when they were freshmen and they went through this, and just the extra hype about it, and the game protocols and the different things that, the practice times are different. And we've been through it before. That group has been through it before. So they can tell, our underclassmen, now this is what, this is the way it goes and this is what happens. So I think that's very valuable. And what a credit to this group to, have another chance and bookend this thing with 2 NCAA tournament berths, and maybe writing, the book for them, even, expanding on their book is what we're hoping to do.
Welcome back into the broadcasting booth as UMass Boston gets set to take on Manhattanville. The Valiants and the Beacons up next in the first round of the 2019 D3 Men's Ice Hockey Championships right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scooters along with Matt Meisenbacher as we get set for the opening face-off of this one. Let's take a look at the all-time series between these two, and it's not really much to talk about because these two teams, Matt, have never played before in men's hockey. In women's hockey, they certainly have. And as we take a look, obviously without much to talk about in the past with regards to how much they played, let's take a look at their seasons and how the special teams might be key today because both teams are very strong.
Yeah, especially in games like this. I mean, the Beacons, for those that maybe haven't watched or are new to the broadcast, Beacons have a tendency to take penalties. And with a game like this, you can't put yourself, it's already going to be challenging enough. You put yourself at a disadvantage like that consistently, and you're really putting yourself in a corner. So something to watch from the Beacons. From a Manhattanville perspective, you look at their overall regular season record, really the only win that stood out to me was a win against Trinity earlier in the year. Other than that, really nothing stands out. A relatively easy strength of schedule. That being said, enter conference play and found ways to beat Elmira and Utica, 2 of the top 2 programs really in the conference for that year. So impressive what they've been able to do. I think be very interested to see. You mentioned special teams. For me, whichever power play really has the advantage tonight could be the key to the game in terms of who walks out of here with a win.
Take more of a look at that when we get to our keys to the game later on in the pre-game show. As for past history in the NCAA Tournament, UMass Boston last reached it 4 years ago, and the seniors on this team were freshmen, winning 2 road games en route to a loss against St. Norbert in the Frozen Four back at Lake Placid in 2016. Meanwhile, the Valiants of Manhattanville have not made it to the NCAA Tournament in over a decade, since 2008, and they have not reached the Frozen Four since 2007. They are 1-4 overall in this tournament after making it 4 consecutive times from 04 to 08. One of the players who was in that Frozen Four and on the team at the time is Arlen Marshall, the head coach of the Manhattanville Valiants back when he was a player. Since graduating in 2010, he is now in his 7th season as the head man behind the bench for Manhattanville. We got a chance to take a look at his preview of his team's chances heading into this tournament. That's up next right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I'm Adam Ryder, privileged to be joined now by the head coach of the Manhattanville men's hockey team, Arlen Marshall. Coach, you dropped Game 1 of the UCHE Championship Series to Utica last weekend, knowing you had to win Game 2 to simply keep the season going. Did game strategy change a whole lot from last Saturday to Sunday?
Not a lot. We actually we felt, and we told our guys that they played a really well played hockey game, played hard. The only thing that we wanted to change going into Game 2 was we wanted to stay a little bit more disciplined as a team, and we wanted to capitalize on our opportunities. We felt like we earned some opportunities to, some grade A's on the first game, and we just didn't capitalize on them. So we told them, keep doing what you're doing, and it's a matter of time before our group starts putting them in.
Now, looking ahead to this weekend in UMass Boston, how much did you hear about them during the season? How much film have you had a chance to look at this week?
Yeah, haven't heard a whole lot on them. Obviously, different conference. We didn't run into them non-conference, but I know they're a good team. I know that they finished first in a very, very tough conference, one which they're one of 3 teams in their conference that's going on to the NCAA tournament, which is pretty impressive. So you finish first in a type of conference like that, you're going to be good. You don't just get lucky there. They earn their way to the top. They earn their way into the tournament. They got some firepower up front. They got they're experienced on the back end, including in net. And their defensemen, they got 5 out of their 6 defensemen are seniors. And the one that's not is a sophomore, and he's one of the top defensemen I think in the country for sure in the East. So they're going to be good. They're going to be ready to go. It should be an exciting game.
You're 9-1-2 in your last 12 games. The Beacons are 7-4-1. How much does previous momentum carry over, or because every team's had at least a week to prepare, does everything sort of reset?
I think it resets. You got to every week. Just the last month and a half of our season, we've been taking it a week at a time, and you just prepare at the beginning of the week and hope that guys are ready to go when the lights turn on. They've had an extra week off, having their last game in their semifinal, so they're going to be well rested. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be excited to play in front of their home crowd, I'm sure. But I don't think momentum has a big factor in it. It's guys are going to have to reset. It's a new season. It's the NCAA tournament. So both teams will be ready to go.
Now, the last time the program made the NCAAs, you were a player here at Manhattanville. Is there anything you took away from your experiences then that you're going to be imparting to the team for this weekend?
Just two things. One is to enjoy it. It's hard to get here, so we made it. That's fantastic. So we want them to enjoy the week ahead here, enjoy the environment, the weekend. But we also want them to take advantage of what they have. Like I said, it is hard to get to. It's been 11 years since our program's gotten back to it. So we want to, we're happy with what we accomplished last weekend. But we want to try and keep this thing rolling.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck.
Thank you.
So Arlen Marshall, the head coach for Manhattanville, confident in his team's chances heading into this road affair today against Peter Belisle's UMass Boston Beacons. Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudras. Let's take a look at the team stats for this evening's affair for this 2018-19 campaign. And Matt, when you take a look at it, it looks like offense versus defense, and the Beacons can score goals, but Manhattanville almost scores 4 per game. But on the other hand, UMass Boston's defense, dynamite.
Yeah, and again, we've seen this at times now. We're used to the Beacons really being dominant on the statistical side, as you can see there on the left, but now being in the conference play, they face these teams that are just as dominant statistically. I think the thing that stands out to me here, that power play percentage, we talked about it, 25% of the power plays is elite. I mean, that's really, if you're around 20%, you're happy, which is right around where the Beacons are at 19.8. That 5% more is really outstanding. And, I think that's an area where if Manhattanville can find ways to pester UMass Boston, a lot of teams like to beat them with speed, down the wall, and especially on zone entry, leading to some penalties on the Beacon side. I expect Manhattanville, the tape will show that, to try and execute on that and get that power play out there that's producing at such a high clip.
Yeah, absolutely. Manhattanville scoring on 35 on 140 power plays for that 25%. Even more impressive on the road, 27.9% away from home on the campaign for Manhattanville. Meanwhile, UMass Boston, their power play and penalty kill, very impressive. The PK especially at 90%. Taking a look at the individual leaders statistically for both of these squads, Nolan Redler leads UMass Boston, 15 goals on the campaign to go along with 19 assists, putting him in the team lead with 34 points. Redler is joined by Ethan Nitkin, who's been an outstanding young freshman for this Beacon squad, 10 goals. The only other Beacon in double-digit goals this season. Nick Albano, the defenseman, with 16 assists, and Zach Bross, second on the team with 24 points. He will line with Redler tonight. And on the other side, Matt Lippa. What a campaign it's been for the senior from Richmond Hill, Ontario. 17 goals, 27 assists, 44 points, Matt. He has 114 points in his career, which is something that would put him towards the top of the Beacon's historical leaders, which is pretty impressive considering some of the names that are on the banner out over the Beacon's bench on the left side of the rink. When you take a look at this, there's a lot of offensive firepower for both of these teams.
Yeah, from a Manhattanville perspective, I don't think there's any secret. I mean, Lippa's the guy. Everything run throughs him. He plays the right wing on that top side. And, overall, I think you take a step back, you look at the Manhattanville roster from top to bottom, seems more like a professional type of roster. A lot of players from Canada and Europe, the goaltender from Finland, with a few Americans mixed in there. So more of a global presence from the Manhattanville side. And for UMass Boston, a lot of the same familiar names. Rather, we know what he does. You can find him. If you can't find him on the ice, look towards the front of the net. He's probably there. This guy just has a knack for finding those loose pucks in front. You see his point totals on the year. And the guy that I really look for in a game like this is Albano. What he's able to do, especially on the power play, but really even five-a-side, with the puck is outstanding. I mean, this guy really can play both sides of the puck, similar to like a Drew Doughty. where you find him in the offensive zone just when you think of he's out of position, he's back and in coverage. So a guy in a game like this, they're really going to lean on, especially from a special teams perspective.
One of those international players on Manhattanville is Oscar Arvelt. He is, of course, second on the team with 32 points, lining on the third defensive line from Stockholm, Sweden, with Marco Ferraro from Toronto, Ontario. That duo has combined for 57 points in this campaign as they continue to dominate as well late in games in the second and third period.
Yeah, we take a look. I mean, we're talking a little bit about it. It's amazing. Not to say this team, the Manhattanville, gets a slow start, but you know, the majority, just statistically, the way the numbers lie, a majority of their goals in the second and third period, a team that might have a little bit of that boost of energy late in the period, and especially in games like this, boy, you find yourself down early. There's probably somewhere in the back of your head, you know, second and third period tend to be ours, so that added confidence where if you do get down a little bit early, you know there's a chance to recover late. So look for that on the Manhattanville side.
At the same time, for UMass Boston, they're undefeated when leading after one period at 15-0-1 and 18-0 with no ties when leading after two. So both of these teams get better as the game goes on. We'll see if the past statistics bear future results. Up next on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. But for now, let's take a look at highlights of UMass Boston's last affair, that tough 4-0 defeat in the NEHC semis against Hobart, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Inside and outside through his house with the window and a moonboard record, and everything is cool for him and himself and everybody around him. He ain't got nobody to listen. I'm good, I will be the guy, I will be, I will die, I will be the guy, I will be, I will die, I will be the guy, I will be, I will die, I will be the guy. I'm blue, I will be the guy, I will be, I will die, I will be the guy, I will be, I will die, I will be the guy, I will be, I will die, I will be the guy.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudras. We are almost set for the opening face-off of this, the 2019 Division III Men's Ice Hockey Championship opener between UMass Boston and Manhattanville. Let's take a look at the starting goaltender matchup for this battle between two game squads. For UMass Boston, the home team, the junior Bailey McBurney, number one in the programs and really number one in the Beacons' hearts this season in 25 games, a .931 save percentage and a .172 GAA, 4 shutouts, 18 wins. He has been everything you could ask for and more coming into the campaign for the former transfer product. And on the other side, senior Tyler Fever. It's been a hit-or-miss campaign, but of late, it's been a lot more hit than miss.
Yeah, Bailey McBurney, 1 in 6 games entering in with a shutout. I mean, that's very impressive. Folks, you take a look at the numbers there. Usually goaltenders are happy with a 91, especially a 92. a 93-1 save percentage for a season is just completely outstanding. What that essentially means is you've had no games where you've just been completely off. You might have given up more than you wanted, but in order to get a 93 for the year, you're looking at only giving up maybe two, I would say, right as you see there, about less than 2 goals a game. So amazing what he's been able to do. With Fever down the other side, the number's not as impressive, but clearly the starter for this team, and I think a goaltender really relies on his quickness. Again, I said it earlier for those that probably weren't with us, really moves in his crease very well, very, very quick in his crease, and clearly the guy that backstops his hockey team as he's seen the majority of play this year.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at our players to watch, beginning with Daniel Nachbauer for UMass Boston. What a breakout campaign it's been for Daniel. He was more of a second or third line center coming into the year, and he has broken out as now a top 6 forward. Career high 20 points this season, third on the team in both goals and assists. He has provided that secondary playmaking and scoring punch to the Redler-Bross line that Peterbilt Wild desperately needed.
There's a tendency at the Division III level where the elite players, they can get away with a little bit of coasting. They can. It's just the reality of it. Not with this guy. This guy plays hard shifts. It doesn't matter the score. It's almost like he's out there. He doesn't even have any idea what the score is. This guy goes hard every single night. Watch for his energy. This guy's quick. He'll bang you around, and he can score as well. You take a look. Third on a team in both goals and assists. So a guy that knows how to put the puck in the back of the net, but not afraid of the physicality either.
And our player to watch for Manhattanville, it is Matt Lippa. We talked about him earlier, a UCHC co-player of the year. Matt was the UCHC player of the week for January 8th, 2019. He set program records for all-time goals with 56, ranks third in all-time points with 114, and in 105 career games, he has 56 goals, 58 assists. Matt Lippa, he's going to be the one to keep an eye on for the Beacons defense.
This guy's elite. You mentioned third in program history in point totals, only 2 back from moving into second place all time. And the 2 other guys aside, this guy's the goal scorer, but you take a look on the back end, they've got first 2 defensemen that are first-team all-selections for the UCHC, and Alfred and Ferraro. So 2 guys that defensively in a tall group, very, very big. You're going to notice tonight, the Manhattanville side, these D are very, very tall. They take up a lot of space. These UMass Boston kids are going to have to find ways to create space in the offensive zone. Those sticks are going to be active for Manhattanville.
It certainly will be. We are almost set for the opening face-off. Breaths are bated here in Beaconville as we are ready for the first ever home game in the NCAA Tournament for UMass Boston men's hockey. When we come back, the national anthem and the opening face-off between UMass Boston and Manhattanville right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that. The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it.
Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader. And I think that was something I had the capability of doing. And forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom. You have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out into community and trying something new and getting involved in campus.
The anthem has been played. The teams are on their respective benches, and we are all set for the 2019 NCAA Tournament. Live from Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Matt Meisenbacher along with John Scudris. And Matt, the time has come for the opening face-off. Let's take a quick look at our keys to the game as we get set for the start of this one. And getting off to a fast start will be key, but also managing emotions and not being overcome by this moment.
You know, these first couple shifts, and it really goes without saying, but these first couple shifts, you have so much energy and there's so much going on. The intensity is at such a level, it's almost like your brain will shut off a little bit. You're just kind of flying, and there's a tendency for players get a little aimless out there. So don't be surprised if we see a goal within this first 5 minutes. I think you clearly don't want to be overcome by emotion. We talked a little bit about special teams. The power play, especially for Manhattanville, is going to be key in this game, and a fast start. This first goal goes without saying, critical in a game like this. You can get an early lead, really kind of change the way you play, more confidence with a lead, you know, get some of those other lines more involved, and so that first goal being really crucial.
It's going to be Nachbauer centering Nitkin and Peters. For the forwards for the Beacons, the blue liners Albano and Chukrin. Meanwhile, they will be countered by the top line for the visitors. It's going to be Casper Durson, the native of Stockholm, Sweden, and Jeff Beck, the native of Broomall, Pennsylvania, centered by Nigel Slade, the native of St. Catharines, Ontario. And on the blue line, Ryan Jackson from Montreal, Quebec, and Axel Waltott, also from Stockholm, Sweden.
John,
for Manhattanville.
We got a crowd here. For those that can't see, you'll probably get a glimpse of it. Manhattanville traveled very well. Good representation here for the team in black.
And the Beacons win the opening faceoff. We are underway in the NCAA Tournament here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Faceoff won by the Beacons, and an early hit there delivered by Chukrin as he dislodges number 16 Casper Durson from the puck. In their own zone, D-to-D feed to the far side. It's taken by Jackson, who dumps it off the sideboards, and a big hit early as laying the lumber is Ethan Nitkin, forcing a turnover for UMass Boston.
That's a huge hit at center ice. Oh, my goodness.
And then Nitkin does it again in front. Oh, and a great save made by Fever as he denies Daniel Nachbauer, our player to watch.
Oh, my goodness. What a shift here. Another shot on goal here for the Beacons, coming out absolutely flying.
That was Gabe Chukrin, the blue liner. Left-handed shot taking it, denied by the waffle board of Fever. A chance in front as this one is kicked to the side by the defender Waltott. And that is Ethan Nitkin, who came out guns blazing as he came through with two big hits, and the native of the Sunshine State, Miami, Florida. Here's Nolan Redler, the Beacons' leading goal scorer, sending it in front as that one went right through the slot, but evaded Stevie Bryant, a freshman from Washington. Bryant gets it back to Redler. The Beacons early on with some good momentum as Redler's taken hard into the boards. Good hit taken there by Oscar Arfelt, the 6'3 defenseman, and another hit from UMass Boston in the attacking zone.
Evan Helt there with another hit. I counted three so far here, John. UMass Boston with a strong physical play here early.
Both teams are coming at each other hard, and with 18:38 to go, we have our first stoppage.
Well, clearly something was said in the locker room about the physical play. If you're a UMass Boston fan, I mean, you talk about getting the crowd into it. At least two, if not three, massive hits there in the first two shifts. One at center ice, another one Helt. A great read. This kid was out injured, came back, and a great read on that play to come in and pinch, get another hit, and UMass Boston here, a little bit of momentum.
Brian Carter out there with John Bono, trying to get out of their zone. Instead, it's intercepted. Tough angle shot by Ferraro. That one whipped away by the Beacons netminder McBurney, and then a rebound chance in front by Jared Martin. But McBurney is able to cover that one up, too.
Yeah, so not surprised. Valiants need a couple good shifts here. Just a quick start. And again, we're not even 2 minutes into this hockey game yet, but you definitely don't want to allow UMass Boston, if you're the Valiants, don't want to allow UMass Boston to just kind of walk all over you here early on. So I'm not surprised the coaching staff putting their top guys back out there.
Absolutely. McLean loses the face-off. as the Beacons gain possession. Trying to clear it is Nachbauer. He cannot get it out of the zone. It's intercepted and kept in the zone by Ramaj. Tristan sends this one into the corner, siphoning around the end boards. Fighting for it, Chukrin pokes it to Albano. And the Beacons puck-moving defenseman will eventually get it out. No, it hits the ref. It did make its way out. McLean, though, great feed in front for Lippa. Lippa got it poked away. Good back check by UMass Boston as McGregor came over to help out. There's a shot from a tough angle on the far side circle. That one kicked away. That was Lippa taking it. And now here on this shift, a little more pressure coming from the Valiants.
Got to be careful there. That's going to be an icing there on Chukrin. He's going to try to change, but obviously that puck's coming all the way back. And I think if he's taking a little look around there, he had an option in the center there rather than taking the icing. I think he knows he missed an outlet pass there.
So early on, energy is high.
Crowd is, I hope our fans at home can get a little bit of the noise here at the Edward T. Barry Ice Arena. The crowd is loud here tonight.
Back to the point. Waltott sends it off the sideboards. Around it comes. Nice stick lift from Albano. Able to send it up the near sideboards. Trickling towards the point and poked out into the crowd. First souvenir for a lucky fan with 17:29 to go.
And this isn't the worst thing for either team, John. It allows you the opportunity to get a couple more shifts under it with a couple stoppages here we've had in a row. Just get those lines out there. When you're sitting on the bench, you have all that adrenaline going. A lot of times your muscles are not reacting the way you want them to, and when you get on the ice, you use a little bit of that energy. It helps in the long run.
Fourth line out there for the Beacons against the third for the Valiants, as from neutral ice, it's poked deep by Lavallee. Chasing after it, Lavallee and Gallagher for UMass Boston. Garrett puts on the brakes as Lavallee goes careening into the boards. Beacons send it off the sideboards, but not out. Kept in by the glove of Waltott, who backhands it into the glove of Bailey McBurney. A couple of shoves in front of the net as Gallagher protects his netminder.
A little bit of trouble here for UMass Boston on the breakout there. A couple shifts now where they've had possession. That puck goes deep into the corner there. Gallagher makes a really nice move, bought himself a bunch of time, but again, can't break out clean. And I think we've seen teams really go aggressive on the forecheck when they play UMass Boston. Wouldn't be surprised if Manhattanville chooses with that type of forecheck here tonight.
Nachbauer wins the face-off to himself and is able to get it out to neutral ice. Chris Peters backhands it forward as Nachbauer goes spilling into the offensive zone. A big hit in front of the Manhattanville bench.
Yeah, that's a big one there.
Slade gets into the attacking zone for Manhattanville, but the Beacons take it away. From neutral ice, a bouncing puck. Chris Peters tried to deke around the back check of Slade, could not do so. Taking it back is Oscar Arfelt. He goes D to D for Ferraro. Back towards Arfelt, but unable to get to it. Was the native of Sweden. Deflection off the clearance pass there. Trickles deep as Nitkin will chase after it. Ethan had a big first shift with the physical game as he takes that one and pokes it back towards the point. It makes its way out to Albano at the red line. And that one is poked back into the Beacons defensive zone, but a good back check to get there by Peters. From his own zone, Nick Albano as the Beacons and the Valiants switch things up a little bit. Second line out there, Redler and Bross, the top scorers on this Beacons team, playing on the de facto second line today, giving a scoring punch to the top six. Albano tried to get it to Bross. Instead, it's intercepted, coming back the other way with it. And that shot never made its way through from Tristan Ramage, a native of the Steel City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now behind, Lippa sends it in front, makes its way to Ramage on the near side, but his shot was blocked down in front. Another try blocked down in front by Chukrin on the blast from Berglund.
Yeah, a couple great blocks there from the Beacons coming down the other way.
Here they come. Bross into the attacking zone, taken off the puck into the boards. Another big hit. Manhattanville's faithful, who, as you said, traveled well, loves it. Lippa pokes it forward. Coming out of the zone with possession was Platt. He got his poked away, and then a blast from neutral ice by Redler. And Fever is going to cover it up despite having three teammates around him.
Yeah, interesting decision there from the goaltender there. Had plenty of time to move that puck. I don't think you want to necessarily take in-zone draws unless you absolutely have to. You had time to move that puck, but nice little opportunity here for the Beacons. Nothing too extenuating, but an opportunity here to possess not too much offense yet here in this hockey game. Both teams clearly with speed and physicality, but not a ton of offense.
Using the glass smartly to get it out of the zone was Waltott. It makes its way all the way down into the attacking zone. Nice diving effort by Helt. The shot is blocked down in front, as getting in front of it and knocking it down was Gallagher. And now the Beacons will clear. Santapass taking it all the way in. Fever will play keep away from him, using the glass to do so. Referee's whistles have remained silent despite pressure, and it's now a 4-on-2 the other way. Center in front, great defensive play on a back check from David McGregor to get in the passing lane.
That's a great read. 19 all the way coming back. That, like you said, was a 4-on-1. His back check broke up the play.
And now coming in here is Santa Pass, takes the shot into the breadbasket. Fever left a juicy rebound, no Beacons there. Kept in the zone by Bono. Johnny Bono, a shot, a deflection in front by Skinner, but that one whistled wide.
Didn't miss by much there. That puck was deflected, just missed hitting that post and going in. And this puck should go for an icing here, John. So that's just a nice little, that back check there by McGregor. Like you said, coming down on a 4-on-1. Not quite sure how the Beacons got shorthanded there. It might have been a little bit of a miscommunication on the change, but clearly a 4-on-1, very rare. And you see McGregor coming all the way back to break up that play. Great individual effort there by 19.
Fourth line out there, Holiday, Regnart, and Keene for UMass Boston. Being countered by Roella Cross and Lavallee. Face off one to the near side, and they're getting dumped down was Dakota Keene on a big check there by Axel Waltott made the hit as blasting that one into the body was Holiday. Near sideboards, Regnart sends it around. Chance in front for Holiday, but the pass never made its way through.
That's the right look there. This is the fourth line. They look for a lot of energy.
And here comes Albano, a great offensive defenseman, puts on the brakes, uses the end boards to get it around, back towards where the pass came from, but it's taken in and cleared, and almost a freight train hit. Instead of evading it was the forward for Manhattanville. Chance for a 3-on-2, a shot, great save with the glove, as feeling the burn are the Valiants as McBurney makes the denial.
Well, I'll tell you what, an interesting decision there. Not sure Chuckrin made the right call. That was a tough chance to pinch through center ice there. He went for the big hit, he missed, and left his team shorthanded. Coming down the other side, another odd man rush for Manhattanville, but McBurney on his stay true to the angle, didn't get too jumpy and reads it all the way into the glove, bails out the senior captain defenseman in Chuckrin with a great stop there in the glove, his best of the night. 13:48 still here to play in the first period, 0-0 hockey game.
Face off to the left of McBurney, Knockbauer wins it into the corner, Helt gets there first. Evan sends it around the near side corner and absorbs a big hit. Back to the point for Ferraro. His pass in front towards Slade, but unable to control it was the forward for Manhattanville. Beacons will get it out of the zone, and Evan Helt, the defenseman, will be the first one who will dump it all the way in into the near side corner. First man there is Ferraro. Goes D to D for Arfelt. Arfelt is able to clear the zone. Back out to the red line where Evan will send it right back from whence it came. Beacons have that top line out there right now. Aggressive check again by Nitkin on Arfelt. Gallagher backhanded to neutral ice as watching this one and then overskating it a bit was Peters, and that forced a turnover. Peters then gets back to it and dumps it in to be taken in by Ferraro. Beacons get a full, fresh line.
Yeah, clearly Beacons want to get pucks deep there and at least send one, if not two forwards, getting those pucks into the corners and try to work from there. A couple times now where they've generated some offense off of that.
Ooh, weird bounce as that one was deflected by Carter. The back check coming behind him by Anderson. And that almost resulted in a potentially dangerous scoring chance, but we will get a whistle.
Yeah, you got to love it there after the whistle there. McBurney with a couple shots, and then looked like Corey Anderson, the fourth line center, giving a shot to Redler there. And clearly, the most obvious statement, both these teams want to win in the worst way, but I would expect that type of stuff after the whistle to only increase as this game goes on for both teams.
Ramage gets the face-off win by Manhattanville. Beacons block down his shot attempt. Take over. Albano connecting with Redler, who puts a stoppage on a dime, forces a turnover here. A chance. They score! Stevie Bryant, the freshman from Edmonds, Washington. And UMass Boston leads 1-0.
Well, just a great shot here. Stevie Bryant coming in with a full head of steam. And this is when you hear coaches talk about shooting in stride. This is exactly what they mean. Now, let me tell you something. This freshman has battled all season, up and down the lineup, in and out, trying to find his way, and what an opportunity there. Just a mini breakaway, gets the puck at the blue line, comes in with a full head of steam, is able to beat the goaltender, Fever, blocker's side, his fourth of the year. What a shot to give his team a 1-0 lead. We'll bring you the replay here in a second.
Certainly will. The Beacons get the advantage. They are 15-0-1 when leading after one period. We'll see if they can continue that in the next 12-22. First period action. Beacons looking and smelling blood in the water. Behind the net comes Skinner. Skinner kept his skating, sent it in front as he was trying to connect on a one-time chance with McGregor. Never made its way through. This one dumped all the way in. Chuckman will be the first one to get there. No icing. Finds Bono. Johnny lifts it up and stays in play. Good play by Bono.
UMass Boston with a tendency, when they score one, there's a tendency to go on a little bit of a streak and follow that up with 2-3 more. Don't be surprised if we see a couple more scoring opportunities here for the team in white.
Ferraro takes the dump from UMass Boston, sends it near side for Rowella. Rowella pokes it deep, but it never made its way through. Back from neutral ice, Lavallee backhands it into the corner where it's taken in by Carter. Carter sends it far side. Nice hard pass by Regnar, connecting with Holiday. Holiday had Keene in front, but he could not connect on the pass. As a hit there from Carter sends the forward, Jared Lavallee, to the ice. From the far side, here come the Valiants. Lavallee takes the shot, easy save by McBurney, and then a big hit after as sandwich was Lavallee between Regnard and Carter. Let's take a look at that goal.
Again, a little bit of after the whistle stuff, but like you said, John, take a look at the replay here. Just a turnover right here. You're going to see Bryant come in with a head. That puck is just bouncing. He picks it up, corrals the puck, and just a real, you talk about in stride. I don't think he made more than one stick handle. He saw an opportunity to shoot that blocker side and just picked it just inside the post. Just a nice little read there from the freshman to be able to pick that puck up, corral it, and get the shot off all within a couple strides there to give his team the lead. And that's huge, folks. We talked in the pregame how much that first goal would mean to either side. Looking for the Valiants to respond.
The shot from Knight was wide of the net, as this one is taken by UMass Boston. Cued back out to the red line where it's blasted in by Gallagher. Behind the net it comes for Joel Knight, the native of Stony Creek, Ontario, who sends it near side. Beck gets to it, number 40 in black, as he backhands it towards the red line. Beck gets it back, sends it in off the stick of Gallagher, and that's going to be played with a high stick by Garrett, and we'll get a face-off coming on up.
Well, it's incredible, game like this, and you hear from a lot of alumni, and talking with some of them, namely Albie Daly, a captain here for UMass Boston, and talking to him a little bit about what it takes to win a game like this. I know he sent a pregame text to this team. I'm sure the Manhattanville alumni doing the same, but a lot of alumni on the broadcast and tuning in. It means so much to these schools, even to be in the tournament. Obviously, both sides looking for a win, but good to see the alumni getting involved.
Good block again by Nicken, who's had a fantastic first period on the shot attempt from Jackson. Ryan, a junior assistant captain for these Valiants. Manhattanville wearing black jerseys and shorts, going from right to left. Meanwhile, the Beacons in their white uniforms, their home uniforms this evening, and we will get another stoppage here, 10:24 of the first period. It's going to be a hand pass.
And you take a look at, just taking a look at both coaching staffs here, both benches, a look of intensity on both sides, and as is in any hockey game, but just a lot of communication. Taking a look over there, you've seen Schneider and Blyle, constant communication, trying to figure out where they have an advantage. The Manhattanville side with a real look of, hey, we really need to get the next one. No doubt they want to get this thing tied up.
Beacons won the face-off, and Gabe Chukrin's shot came right into the pads of Fever with two Beacons in front, and Fever made the nice save, Tyler limiting the rebound opportunity. The assistant captains, or the assistant coaches, I should say, for Manhattanville, Matt Willows in his first year out of New Hampshire. And for UMass Boston, as you said, Tom Murphy and Corey Schneider, the assistants for Peter Belisle. We do it over again on a face-off from the far side dot, and the Beacons win it again. Bross, pinched into the corner, has possession. Bross takes the shot right into the glove of Fever, as he will make the save and denial with Bryant on the doorstep.
And the Beacons sending two forwards there towards the front of the net, and I think it's really frustrating, not just the goaltender, but the defensive unit for Manhattanville. You've seen there a couple times now, a couple quick whistles, just some easy shots on goal. Nothing too challenging for the goaltender, but Valiants taking exception to having anyone near and around the blue ice, as they should.
Absolutely. Face off, one back to Gabe again. Chukrin, tough angle, looking for a deflection in front. Unable to find Redler, and now taking control of it, moving it out, is Marco Ferraro. Ferraro finds Slade. Slade able to penetrate the zone, get it back to Ferraro. Ferraro finds Durson, a shot, he scores! Casper Durson answers back for Manhattanville as the Valiants even it up 1-1, 10:03 into the first period.
Well, quite similar to the way UMass Boston scored. This is going to be a hard shot on the low blocker side. And, the one thing you're going to see on the replay here, if you're going to go to block a shot, you've got to go for it. You can't get caught in the middle. And I think you had two UMass Boston Beacons there right in the front. They just kind of tried to act as a goaltender there. You don't need three goaltenders. You got to attack that shooter Durson with just a quick wrister. He had a lot of time and space. I don't know if McBurney saw it all the way in, but this hockey game is tied at 1.
Durson, the native of Stockholm, Sweden, played in the AHL for the Northern Cyclones. His 7th of the year, his 14th career goal. And he has evened it up at 1 as he take another look.
Yeah, just watch here as this puck comes in. You're going to see it in between the slot. Now watch the Beacons as they go to block this shot off the pass there. You see both guys go for the block there, John. You'd love to see at least one, if not both guys, attack that puck carrier and try to take away his time and space. When you go to block that, you know, it's pretty easy. The good shooters are going to find a way to get that puck through, and on top of that, you've got a goaltender that probably isn't getting a great read as that puck comes out in front. McBurney's able to glove it, but I don't know if we can bring that back one more time there, but just take a look. You're going to see, again, as the pass is made from that face-off dot towards the center, both Beacons are just going to go for the block, and watch here. This puck comes in the zone. You're going to see just right along the face-off dot, it's a quick pass, and then both guys going for the block there. It allows the shooter to just pick that corner.
Ensuing face-off won by Manhattanville with the Beacons with a big hit from Evan Helt, able to force a turnover. It's a deflection, so no icing. Fever will come out of his crease to play it. Get it over to Ramage. A heavy forecheck here coming from the Beacons. McGregor is the first one there. A chance in front. That's a deflection from Santapass on the shot from Gallagher. Never made its way through. Gallagher knocked it out of midair with a high stick, but it's taken instead and moved forward by Berglund and Manhattanville. Beacons poke it out towards the blue line. That is offsides, a delayed offsides. And UMass Boston will have time now to slow things up as they are still offsides and now finally back on sides as they go for a line change over Manhattanville. Here's Evan Helt keeping grasp of the puck. He sends it off the waffle board of the netminder. Chance in front is Keene, sends it in front for a chance for Skinner, but he was unable to get the puck past the netminder, that being Tyler Fever.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a nice little play by Helt there. You know, he's in the neutral zone. Easy place to just get that puck deep, chip it into the corner. Instead, he takes an extra stride, fires it on net. And when you put it on the blocker side, you saw the rebound go into the corner. Keene was able to corral that, throw it towards the front of the net. Wasn't a great A-scoring opportunity, but that's one of those instances where you're creating a little bit out of nothing there. Just a nice read by Helt and Keene to create a scoring opportunity.
Face-off coming here. UMass Boston in the offensive zone. And the extra skater is on there for the first time. That's the sophomore Jack Riley. Riley won the face-off back. Keene diving. Dangerous play there. Could have drawn a tripping penalty. Instead, the puck is loose at the red line. Keene sends it all the way in to chase after it. It's Holiday leading the way. Fever keeps it away from him, sends it along the far side corner boards. Pinching in and keeping it in smartly is Carter. Behind the net, Fever playing keep away from Holiday. Near side, backhand chance to clear. Unsuccessful, and then a shot whistles wide from the stick of Dakota Keene. Coming back the other way in bunches again are the Valiants. A shot kicked away with the right leg by McBurney. A shot coming from Durson, looking for 2 for the price of 1. That bouncer off the waffle board of McBurney. He's got all the help in the world and no Valiants in his face, so he hands it off to Bono. Deflected by Holiday all the way in. Beacon's getting fresh legs out there. Leading the rush right now, Peters. He's going to be joined by Nachbauer and Nitkin. Nachbauer fighting for possession. Peters poking at it. Comes all the way back around. No one was on the far side point to keep it in, and so Chukrin has to chase it down at neutral ice. Chukrin finds Nachbauer. 7:52 to go. Nachbauer hands it off to Albano. Takes the shot deflected. Active stick there from Durson again. Nachbauer behind the net to the far side circle. Gets taken into the boards not once but twice. And that may draw a penalty.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look. Face
the net just came off the moorings.
For the net. You know, for those that weren't with us in the pregame, some of the keys to success here, obviously, want to bang bodies, get pucks deep, but I think the speed, both teams, you know, a lot of great skaters, and you've seen here the neutral zone, whoever can dominate the neutral zone should have the advantage. A couple opportunities, a couple swings of momentum. And I think it really can be attributed to the team that really has a cleaner breakout. A couple passes that I've seen right on the tape. Both teams know how to enter with speed, but I think that neutral zone is going to be key here in this game.
They say the Beacons took the net off its moorings, and so face off back to neutral ice. Stevie Bryant, Redler, and Bross. Face off won by the freshman Bryant. D-to-D feed. Albano sends it in on the net, and Fever will have to cover with Bryant bearing down on him. 7:34 to go. First period action along with Matt Meisenbacher. I'm John Scudris here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. This is the 2019 Division III Men's Ice Hockey Championship.
Face-offs becoming more and more critical. Seen a lot of them already here in the first period, but those added possessions you can create in a hockey game by winning some of these offensive or defensive draws.
What a play from Bross to win that faceoff. Far side chance to save in front by Fever on the blast there coming from Chukrin. The rebound was juicy, but no one was home for UMass Boston.
Yeah, it's a nice shot by Chukrin through a screen.
Knocked down on the far side by Knight. Poke checked into the attacking zone. That made its way out of the zone right in front of Redler, and so an offsides on the Beacons.
A little bit choppy here in the first period. We've had a lot of face-offs. I think one thing we talked about, John, is the importance to stay out of the penalty box. We mentioned it in the pregame, and so far no penalties. Both teams really, I think the one thing I really like, referees allowing them to play. There's been some chippy stuff, but really nothing egregious, and so far a clean hockey game. But I'm sure we're bound at some point to see one of these teams on the power play, and really could be an advantage for either side.
Certainly could. Back to the point. McBurney had to get back quickly. A chance with a rebound loose in front and a deflection as that chance was taken by Eric Berglund off the initial blast from the point off the stick of Jackson. Waltott sends this one around the boards to the end boards, taken in by Helt. He lost possession on the poke check, and a big hit as Helt colliding there with Berglund as the immovable force finds the unstoppable object.
And you've seen Helt now. He's got the hit stick going. That's 3 massive hits here so far in this hockey game. And again, folks, this guy was hurt for a while. This is his first game back. Beacons, for those that don't know, Beacons with 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks between their last game, losing to Hobart in the conference semifinals, and then here tonight in the first round of the national championship.
Dumped all the way in by Rowella. Fresh legs for the Valiants, but Rowella maintaining pressure on the forecheck, able to poke it away from McBurney. He's taken into the boards by Bono, and then 2 Valiants collide, a break for the Beacons. Maybe sets up a 3-on-2 the other way. Skinner sending it far side, connecting with Santa Pass. Garrison a shot, and Fever makes the save and covers with the forward. McGregor bearing down.
Yeah, that was a tough 3-on-2 there. Manhattanville had really good coverage. There was really no easy passing lane. Skinner fires one across ice. Folks, that's a really tough pass, especially when you're on the other side of the red line. You don't have much time to get that pass across. Otherwise, you're risking an offside. Skinner fires one over. Santa Pass is able to handle it and fire on net. A nice save by Fever as he covers up, no rebound. In-zone draw here, tied 1-1 with 6:06 left to play.
Nigel Slade for Manhattanville against David McGregor for the Beacons. Slade won it behind him, but Santa Pass was the first one there. Skinner fighting with McGregor for the puck, gets it to Skinner in front. Another chance just whistled wide on the top shelf from the blast of David McGregor as this second chance opportunity sent wide by Bono. And now Johnny has to get back. Luckily that pass never made its way back to Beck for the Beacons, that is, as Skinner pokes it to the near side for Santa Pass. Santa Pass backhands a bouncer through the slot, never made its way to a UMass Boston Beacon as Casper Durson gets control and sends it all the way down.
UMass creating some havoc, just chipping these pucks towards the front of the net. These aren't direct passes, but they're just trying to get it there as we're going to get a penalty here, John. And as this puck comes out of play, we'll have to take a look and see who it's on.
I believe it's on Manhattanville.
I'll have to take a look. It's a high stick.
Ooh.
It might be on Carter. It's tough to tell right now. I'm not clear who referee Baker was pointing to, but I do think it's on Carter. And, yeah, he's going to sit for 2. So an opportunity here. We just talked about the power plays. And, again, for those that weren't with us in the pregame, Manhattanville producing at a 25% clip, 1 and 4, and you'll take a look and see 1 and 5. Sorry, take a look and see who they go out there. It'll be the top unit, obviously.
Face-off won by Manhattanville. Arfelt keeps it in the zone. Beacons have Keene out there, joined by Bross at the forward position. Albano and Chukrin on the blue line. Lippa with possession, the team's best goal scorer. Chance for a shot from the far side, and McBurney says no as he moves to his left on a beautiful play to deny Marco Ferraro.
A really great save on the back door. This puck should get out of the zone, but folks, take a look. 9 Lippa is going to run this power play. He runs it off the half wall, similar to Patrick Kane, the Chicago Blackhawks. Everything's going to move through him. He's their top point producer. Look for that puck to be on the near side.
2-minute minor to Carter is a big hit as Bross sends Arfelt to the ice. Far side Lippa. He's got Berglund in front, comes back to towards the point, taken in by Kenny McLean. Beacons had possession and lost it. Good stick lift from Lippa. Lippa with possession on the power play with 68 seconds to go. Harassed by Albano, hands it off for McLean. McLean backhanded behind the net for Lippa, back to Kenny. McLean back to the point, Arfelt. Arfelt fakes it, now goes to McLean. Down low, Lippa. Lippa skates from skate to stick, a chance in front, and Arfelt was unable to get it from McLean. It stumped all the way in.
Manhattanville doing a really nice job moving this puck, and you saw a couple passes there where they were right in the low slot there for UMass Boston. However, the boys in white able to pack the house and get a clearance there, but really impressed with the way the Valiants have been able to move this puck so far 35 seconds still left on this power play.
Coming on in Manhattanville, Evan Held again using the body and sending Casper Durson to the ice. Waltott kept it in for the moment, but it's cleared all the way down by Gallagher with 20 seconds to go.
And again, you mentioned it, Helt with another hit. Those are the types of hits, man. They don't pay dividends right away, but late in that third period, you start to see the returns on some of these hits early on in the game.
Waltott makes his way into the attacking zone. 7 seconds ago. Chance blocked out in front. Rebound is loose. They score! A goal delivered by Brian Platt, his 4th of the year, and the senior has put Manhattanville on top 2-1.
Well, just a broken play here. This puck looked like it had a chance to be cleared by UMass Boston. They didn't. And instead, it's laying out in the top slot. And once again, UMass Boston deciding to play goaltender. I think it was Keene. This puck's laying there in the slot. Would have loved to seen him attack this puck. But instead, he tries to go for the block, and just similar to the first goal, John, you know, you gotta take away the time and space. Instead, you see Platt just able to blast that one over the glove. McBurney was trying to get to the spot. He was a little late getting there, but Keene's got to find a way to get to that puck there. Instead, Platt's able to blast it home and give his team a 2-1 lead.
Just seconds to go on the power play. The Beacons were so close to getting away with it. But this 25% power play clip evades the Beacons' 90% PK. Bono tried to pinch in from the red line. Now the Beacons chasing the Valiants for the first time today, trailing 2-1. Deflected by Redler, and then out of the zone off the stick of UMass Boston's Stevie Bryant.
Well, it's going to be eerily similar to the way Manhattanville scored their first goal. Just watch as this puck comes into the zone here. It's going to be off the wall. Now watch towards the slot. The initial one's blocked, and you see there. Now, in all fairness, Keene didn't have much of an opportunity to get there, but it's similar to that first goal where you've got guys trying to block that shot, and instead Platt puts it over the glove. McBurney was, again, trying to get to that spot. Just a nice shot. Way to get that off, not try to take too long by Platt, and gives his team a 2-1 lead. We talked about the power play there. Already 1-for-1 here tonight.
It'll be Roella going against Knockbauer. And the face-off run by Roella. Back towards the point. Pinching in with it is Arfelt. Sends this one off the side of the net as the Beacons are able to clear it. First man there was Nickin, but he couldn't poke it past the play made by Lavallee. Sent all the way back in, less than 3 minutes to go, first period action. Peters couldn't backhand it out of the zone. It's kept in by Arfelt. Very dangerous scoring defenseman. Tries to toe drag his way around, but unable to get it by Carter.
Yeah, a smart play there, not just blocking or intercepting the pass, but buying himself some time. Missed on the breakout there, but going behind the net. Beacons really need to get out of their own zone here. This power play has been over, but Manhattanville continues to pressure on the forecheck.
Knockbauer got it poked away by Berglund. And this aggressive forecheck, 3 skaters over the Beacons' blue line. The Beacons can't penetrate it, and they still can't, as Peters is unable to get it by. Nitkin pokes it into his own zone. Berglund gets to it. 2-on-2 chance, and a good play from the sophomore Albano, and he backhands it forward for Redler. First man to it is Nolan. Nolan, one-on-one, takes the shot around Waltott, kicked away by Fever. As Nitkin is unable to gain possession behind the net, 122 seconds to go in the first period.
Almost a chance there for UMass Boston. Redler, I don't think he knew he had help coming on the far side, just tried to throw it towards the front of the net. And I think had he seen his winger coming off the opposite side, might have tried to float that puck across, but I don't think he saw him until it was too late.
Slade knocks it down. Nigel sends it all the way in. No icing. As getting there first in front of Durson was Chukrin. And now a little help from Bryant as the Beacons trying to break out with 90 seconds to go. Cannot. Ross couldn't get it out of the zone. Durson, who has a goal in the first period, as does Slade. The Beacons' goal scored by Bryant. As it's sent by Stevie off the near side boards all the way down, and no icing. And they do say icing just at the last moment. It made its way through with 76 seconds to go.
That's a big call there. You know, that's a 50-50 icing. That puck was just running out of steam as it crossed over the line. Now here with a minute 16, UMass Boston's not going to be allowed to change. They're tired. And Manhattanville with an opportunity to put fresh guys on the ice. Not surprised they're going with their top line here. Berglund, McLean, and Lippa. This is a big opportunity for Manhattanville. Already a 2-1 lead. And something to note here, it looks like Nitkin for UMass Boston heading to the locker room a little bit early, followed by a trainer. So not quite sure what's going on there. We'll have to keep you posted.
Well, Ethan came out really physical in the first shift. And he gets set the tone early. The Beacons then got a lead. But since then, 2 unanswered goals, including a power play goal for Manhattanville. Valiants trying to answer again. Lippa got there first, taken into the boards by Gallagher. Dangerous play, but everyone's okay. Behind the net it comes. Bross, a hit there from Evan Helt from behind as he leveled the lumber on McLean. Helt and McLean fighting for it, and with one arm, McLean is held off by Helt, who then absorbs a hit on the far side boards with 42 seconds to go, as this one's cleared down by UMass Boston, and chasing it down is Ferraro, able to keep it away from David McGregor. Arfelt into the attacking zone, hands it off for McLean. McLean never got a shot away. It was poked away from him by McGregor. Beacon's trying to force a 2-on-1, maybe a 3-on-1. Helt and Jeff Skinner. He's got McGregor as well. Skinner, he scores! What a play! Hey! Evan Helt, what a period for the young man. The Beacons even it up. It's 2-2.
I'm not quite sure I've ever seen something like this. For a guy who's missed so much time here, folks, Evan Helt, the sophomore, I mean, he has been hurt for a long time here. And he's not known for his offense. You've seen the physical side. That's his M.O. But this is just a great play by a defenseman from his own zone. He chips the puck into the neutral zone, then again into the offensive zone and makes a hard pass backdoor to find Skinner, who has a wide open net, is able to blast that thing home with less than 30 seconds to go in the period. John, I've never seen a defenseman who's been all over the ice like this in the first period, unless he's a junior or a senior. This sophomore is doing some things here tonight. Evan Helt with a great individual effort. Skinner on the goal. 2-2 hockey game.
The 6'3" native of the Buckeye State, as the Sylvania, Ohio native, gets the primary assist on the goal from Jeff Skinner, the native of the Lone Star State from Houston, Texas. And with 4 seconds to go, we, my friends, have a whole new hockey game here in the first round of the 2019 D3 Men's Ice Hockey Championships. 2-2 after one between the UMass Boston Beacons and the Manhattanville Valiants. And Matt, what a period it was. Emotions high, emotions low for both squads. As we'll get another look at that goal momentarily by Skinner on a beautiful effort from Evan Helt.
Yeah, just amazing. John, what a period by this guy. I mean, you're watching this clock, 30 seconds and they're in their own zone. Now watch Helt here. He's going to backhand himself to himself. The chip here makes the play. You got a 3-on-1 now coming down, and then watch the pass, folks. He goes not to the center, but to the far side. Impossible to Fever to get over there in time. That's just an amazing pass right on the stick. Makes it real easy for Skinner to just blast that one home. Folks, that's a great individual effort there by UMass Boston's number 20, Evan Helt. Great play, creating the 3-on-1 and then getting that pass across. And again, that goal is so huge now. Instead of going down one at home, 2-2 hockey game. What a first period. We saw a little bit of everything.
Evan Helt, this is his 26th career game. 4 assists. Those are his only points in his career here on Beaconville.
Insane.
And what a performance today so far for number 20. In white. Well, Evan Helt's defensive line mate may be playing in one of his final hockey games at UMass Boston, that being Garrett Gallagher. We got a chance to catch up with him prior to the game on what it means to have a second chance and how the Beacons have prepared for this week. That's up next on the Intermission Report on the Beacon Spotlight right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
So after Saturday's game, we found out that we still had a chance to make the tournament. And so we took a couple of days off, got back to the ice Tuesday, just battled all week, Tuesday through Friday. We're just doing mini games, best of 3 series, just trying to be positive and just keep good vibes in the locker room and just hoping for the best. So I was texting Corey about it all weekend, just asking him every question I had, and he had all the answers about it. I had the Pairwise up on my Internet Explorer. I was just refreshing over and over. And then it came down to Sunday. All the games that we needed to happen happened. And then Sunday at 2, I had both games, one on my phone and one on the laptop, just watching. And any score changes throughout the whole weekend that was affecting us was just put in the group chat. It was just like live updates just out of our group chat. So we got that big snowstorm Monday. Usually we probably would all have met up in the locker room, but it was a little tough to all get together. But pretty much all the roommates were all together to watch, and just as we saw it happen, everyone was just texting the group. Like, I was hugging my roommates and stuff. It was just unbelievable. It means the world, honestly. I was in tears after the Saturday's game when we lost to Hobart. I didn't think I was ever going to get another chance. And look at us now. I mean, we got another chance, so I'm going to make the most of it. I don't think any nerves, really. I mean, it's really nice to have the first game here in, like, program history, but just being confident because we're on our home ice and I know what we can do on our home ice, but just taking it one game at a time from there, and that's all.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that. A lot more.
Sure, the game is important. But as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn, as we all do, that in giving we receive so much more in return.
Sport ennobles us, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
Back atop Edward T. Barry Ice Rink here at Clark Athletic Center. Welcome back to the Vegans Broadcasting Network. John Scooters and Matt Meisenbacher. And Matt, we're excited for this game, the first ever NCAA Tournament game here at UMass Boston. And 20 minutes, it's lived up to expectations.
Boy, I was about to say, a chance to catch our breath, man. that was a lot. That was a lot to cover in that first period. I thought Manhattanville did a really nice job in their response. You go down 1-0, the shift after that type of goal is so important, and it wasn't soon thereafter they were able to tie this up. But really impressive with how aggressive they've been. I think the verdict is out that if you're going to beat UMass Boston, you've got to be aggressive on the forecheck, and we've seen that here tonight. The Valiants doing a great job. But, boy, for UMass Boston, a really solid period. I saw a lot of things I liked. I can't state enough how impressed I am by this kid, Evan Hell. I mean, the injury, he's had plenty of time off, and usually, if you're out for a game or two, fine, but when you miss that amount of games, there's a rust factor. Not here tonight. I mean, this guy is all over the ice. We mentioned his name more than anybody. 4 hits that I counted of maximum caliber, and then just creating that play, that 3-on-1 on his own. Just really impressive what I've seen from the sophomore here tonight. But what a first period. 2 goals on both sides here so far, and I'm sure both coaching staffs looking to make some adjustments here as we go into the second period.
Looking back at the goals, the first was scored by the freshman Stevie Bryan for UMass Boston. It was answered by Casper Durson, the senior from Stockholm, Sweden, his 7th. Brian Platt on the power play that made it 2-1. The senior's 4th of the year, 19th career goal. And then the Beacons answered it late. Jeff Skinner, his 6th goal of the season for the freshman from Houston, Texas, lassoing a tie as we are through 20 minutes of play. Let's take a look at those first period statistics. And it's no surprise, a lot of them very even with the Beacons slightly ahead. The big difference here, that power play that Manhattanville got and was able to convert.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. We'll continue to talk about it. They have an elite power play. They move the puck very, very well. And you saw there a little bit of a broken play in the slot, and we'll show you the highlight here in a few minutes. But, that puck goes right out into the slot, and they're able to bury that, giving their team a 2-1 lead. The power play was the difference, the difference for Manhattanville in that period. But, again, just some great responses. UMass Boston find a way to get one there very late in the first period to tie things up. You look statistically, all other things being even.
Take a look at the around the NCAA scoreboard. A lot of action going on tonight in the first round right now. An upset brewing in Hobart as they trail Plymouth State 1-0. The Panthers on the prowl at the end of one period. And after one period from Trinity, they are tied 0-0 with the University of New England. St. Norbert will host Augsburg, getting underway in about 20 minutes time. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have highlights of the first period. An exciting one at that. 4 goals scored, 2 apiece, 2-2 after 1, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day. I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Back at the Beacons Broadcasting Network, John Scooters with Matt Meisenbacher. Matt, let's take a look at the highlights of the first period. Early on, it was a lot of shots, a lot of hits, and then a lot of goals late. Let's get started.
Yeah, we'll run it here. It starts off with just a nice Manhattanville shot, a little chip towards the back door there, and McBurney was able to make the stop there. Here's the 4-on-2 here after. You're going to see puck comes into the zone, just a nice play. Fever was able to chip this, and then UMass Boston gets 4 guys caught. Three guys caught down the other side on back check. This puck comes across, just a great individual effort by McGregor there to break up that play. And then soon thereafter, here's the Beacons' first goal of the night. Bryant just picking that puck up right through center ice, and in stride goes blocker side, was able to give his team a 1-0 lead. Really great job reading that play through the center of the ice. And then sure enough, soon thereafter, Manhattanville comes down. And this is the one that I think Beacon's going to want to review on film. You got 2 guys, the exact same blocking technique, really not taking away the time and space of the shooter. Durson was able to pick the blocker side as well. 1-1 hockey game. Beacons went on a little bit of a push here. A couple shots in front. You're going to see a tendency. They're just kind of chipping these pucks towards the front of the net. This is a really nice stop here as this puck comes off the far side. You're going to see a rebound. If had the Beacon been there, I think able to score, but some good coverage there by Manhattanville. Down the other side, and again, you see both goaltenders active, moving these pucks. Manhattanville with an opportunity, a shot from the blue line, trying to work things out from behind the net. Beacons would come away with that puck, and then again, another face-off play here. You're going to see towards the front of the net. Just going to fire this one on. Again, someone backdoor there. Some really great job by UMass Boston getting pucks towards the front of the net. And then here you're going to have a really nice save from McBurney on the power play. This puck comes across. He's able to stay high, get off that post, and that rebound into the corner. Manhattanville would score. Here's the final 5 of the period. So this is that Manhattanville play, a block shot there. And again, I gave Keene a little bit of flack. Not much he can do there. On second replay there, I thought he did a fair enough job. And then, folks, I think this is the highlight of the period here. A 50-50 puck there. Helt's able to create the 3-on-1 and then watch the crossing ice pass. I mean, he puts this right in the wheelhouse. A guy like Skinner's going to bury that every time. That puck is right where he needed it late. You saw the time on the clock there. 23 seconds remaining in the period. That made it 2-2. And that's where we stand here going into the second period.
An absolutely gorgeous goal. A period of gorgeous goals. Really all 4 were impressive for both of these teams as we are 20 minutes into this first round game of the 2019 D3 Men's Ice Hockey Championship. We're going to go to one more break. When we come back, Matt and I will discuss the second period and what we anticipate for the second frame of this outstanding affair between UMass Boston and Manhattanville. Up next, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Back in the booth here, John Scooters along with Matt Meisenbacher. Matt, the first period began with a lot of heavy hits. It eventually devolved into a lot of great saves and then eventually evolved into some great goals. Now here we look ahead to the second period, the second 20 minutes. Do you expect more of the same, or has the feeling out process finally been reached and now we're ready to see some good old-fashioned hockey?
No, I think statistically, these are the periods where Manhattanville ups their game. And we talked in the pregame how there's a tendency for them to get the majority of their goals in the second and third periods, already 2 here tonight. So I think if you're UMass Boston, got to recognize that. Better coverage in the D zone. Too many times where they've had opportunities to either break out or get pucks out and have failed to do so, giving Manhattanville, second and third opportunities. So something they really need to tighten up on and give McBurney a chance. Both of these goals here, you've got guys in the slot that are just picking corners. So give McBurney an opportunity to actually make some of these stops. If you're now on the other side of things, I think UMass Boston has done a great job in the rush. They're getting pucks towards the front of the net once they get in the zone. But I think overall they had a slight edge in covering that neutral zone. The breakouts have looked good when they've been able to connect on them. So expect for that play to continue. I would love to see them continue to get pucks towards the front of the net, maybe find a way to get 1 or 2 of those greasy ones in front.
Yeah, we talked about it in the pregame, the proficiency of Manhattanville in the second and third periods. They've outscored their opposition 90-62 in the second and third periods. Meanwhile, the Beacons, when tied after one period so far this year, just 4-4. So only 8 games where they've been tied after 20 minutes of play. Meanwhile, when you take a look more specifically at UMass Boston to start, we talked about Evan Helta. He stood out. Stevie Bryan had a goal. The freshman, his 4th of the year, obviously stood out as well. Anybody that you've seen so far that you need to see more out of in the next 20 minutes?
David McGregor, won a couple key faceoffs. He's their key faceoff guy. Let's not forget, he made, on that back check on that 4-on-2, you saw the replays. He made a great effort getting back and breaking up that play. He's a third-line center tonight. I really like what he's done. Ethan Nitkin also, top-line right wing. Really liked he had that first initial hit earlier on here in the hockey game. Be curious to see. Now, he did go to the locker room a little bit early. Curious to see if he's all right coming back. On Manhattanville, let's not forget, Lippa took a hit there. Gallagher hit him. It just seemed like caught a little bit of an edge as he was making contact. And Gallagher, a big physical guy there. Lippa immediately went off the ice. He seemed to be okay, but boy, that would be huge if UMass Boston, any type of injury like that, even if minor in a game like this, can really give you that edge. So look for Lippa. We'll have to see here early on, the first couple shifts, if he's at maximum capacity.
We're going to go to one more commercial break. The teams are making their way back onto the ice for the second period of play in the 2019 D3 Men's Ice Hockey Championship first round. 2-2, UMass Boston and Manhattanville. Opening face-off of the second. Coming up next.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scooters along with Matt Meisenbacher. The teams are heading back to the bench. Beacons are there, the Valiants almost. And we are just about set for the opening face-off of the second period. The first period began, Matt, with the Beacons getting aggressive. Ethan Nitkin, a couple of big hits. He went to the locker room early. It looks like they're going to start with the Redler line. Redler, Bross, and Bryant, and for good reason. That line scored a goal in period number 1.
Yeah, and Redler, we didn't mention his name too much in that first period, but one of the things I saw, this guy makes a living in the front of the net, and he's been around. And that's such a key. He's not the biggest guy. For those that maybe aren't as familiar with the Beacons, he's definitely their strongest offensively, and good to see him finding ways to get around the net. If he continues to do that, we expect him to get some opportunities as we're dropping the puck here for the second period.
Slade, Durson, and Beck for the Valiants. Beacons moving right to left. The Valiants moving left to right as Slade wins the faceoff back to Jackson. Ryan siphons it all the way in. No icing, waved off. Tough angle shot wide of the net as that one was blasted wide by the forward Jeff Beck. From neutral ice, sent all the way back in by Ryan Jackson, careening around the end boards. McBurney out, sends it near side corner for Albano. Nick tries to backhand it up the near side boards. It was pinched in and kept by Slade. And played with a high stick, and we will get a stoppage 23 seconds in. It was on UMass Boston, and so a defensive zone faceoff for the Beacons.
Not much to describe there. It's a simple high stick. For those that don't know, defending team touches it with a high stick. Faceoff's inside. Opposing team touches it with a high stick. It comes outside the neutral zone. Little rule in the lessons there for you, John.
Very Pierre McGuire of you, Mr. Meisenbacher.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah, he's one of the best. McLean loses the face-off to Knockbauer. Chukrin and Ethan Nitkin back out there, folks, for UMass Boston. Good news. Number 15 is in neutral ice as the D-to-D feed finds Chukrin. He'll siphon it towards Nitkin, who deflects it all the way down. Knockbauer chasing after Arfelt. Arfelt pokes it away from Daniel. And then it's backhanded away from UMass Boston by Ferraro from neutral ice at the red line, sent all the way back for Ferraro, deflected at the red line, and now here's Albano into the offensive zone with a head of steam. He takes the shot, deflected off the skate of Ferraro, who wanted a high stick on Albano, as that one at the blue line draws a hit and a whistle, and a stoppage and a penalty.
Let's see here. Let's see what we got.
And the Beacons are going to go shorthanded again. Ethan Nitkin will go to the sin bin for the second time today. The Beacons short.
Yeah, didn't see it. To be honest with you, folks at home didn't really see a penalty there. But refs caught something there, and Manhattanville, not even a minute into the second period here, already with their second power play of the night.
59 seconds in, a 2-minute minor to Ethan Nicken. I believe he signaled interference, but it was tough to tell. They have not yet announced it. Face-off one back to Durson. Durson down low to Platt. Towards Durson again as it comes off the stick of Slade. D-to-D feed, far side for Arfeld. His shot, that one wide of the net. And the Beacons will get there first. An opportunity to clear, but over skating it was Bross. And eventually good second effort from Zach Bross. He clears it down.
John Lippa's not out there, and he is on the bench. I found him on the bench. I would expect him to be on the second unit, but just something to note here. Obviously, he's a first power play type of guy, not out there right now.
Beacons are able to clear it down, chasing it for the puck. Dakota Keene, he's got great speed. Walcott gets there first and plays keep away. 40 seconds into the power play. From neutral ice, good play made by Helt. What else is new tonight? As Zach Bross sends it all the way around, but it doesn't make its way out. Good keep by Platt. Sends it down low, and then losing his glove was Bailey McBurney. Didn't see how, Matt. That's a break for the Beacons. The net also came off its moorings.
Yeah, Chuckrin talking about it with the referees. There was some contact there. It looked like the Valiants cutting through, going towards from one corner to the other side, made some contact with the goaltender as well as the net, which is why he lost his glove, and the net being off the ice as well.
Still 71 seconds to go on the power play. Cooler heads prevail. We are all set. Face-off to be taken here from Kenny McLean.
Lippa out there now.
He is along with Berglund, the forwards. Ferraro gets the pass from Arfelt, the blue liners. One-time chance, instead faking it Arfelt. Far side Lippa. 61 seconds on the power play. Arfelt far side again for Lippa on the lip of the circle. Arfelt with Bross in front of him. Far side Lippa, he scores! Matt Lippa, goal number 57 of his illustrious career, and the Richmond Hill, Ontario native. The second power play goal for the Valiants tonight. It's 3-2 Manhattanville.
Well, the 5'8" junior forward, Kenny McLean's not going to get an assist, but he should. He didn't touch the puck, but he created the screen in front. McBailey never saw it, and that's just a simple pitch and catch play. Lippa going back with his defenseman there, just rips one glove side, but the screen of McLean, I would expect McBurney to make that stop, except he had no eyes. Couldn't see the puck. And the small, only 5'8", McLean in front of the net all alone. You're going to see on the replay here, he's going to take his eyes away, folks. Just watch this little pitch and catch play here. They're just setting up Lippa. And one of these guys is going to shoot. You're going to see this come back to the top here. It's going to be Arfelt that's going to get this over to Lippa. Watch this play right there. Makes the fake. Lippa on the glove side and McLean in front. He's just a little guy, but takes McBurney's eyes away. He never got a read on the puck, and it was in the back of the net by the time he saw it. Manhattanville 2 for 2 on the power play here. And, boy, no secret now. You've got to stop taking penalties if you're UMass Boston.
It's a 90% penalty kill this year for the Beacons. That is at 0% so far tonight. And it's the difference between a lead and a deficit. 3-2, 2 minutes, 15 seconds into period number 2.
Got to get McBurney settled in here now. 3 goals on 11 or 12 shots. Statistically, not where you want to be. None of these really his fault, but as a goaltender, man, you look up at the scoreboard and you kind of understand, you know, I haven't had that many shots on goal here tonight. Got to find a way to settle this guy in. If you're UMass Boston, get some shots from distance. Allow this kid to get some confidence back.
Saucer feed for Durson. Bouncing puck, tipped deeper by Slade into the attacking zone, but the Beacons gain possession. Chukrin off the sideboards, over skating it there was the defenseman Ramage. It's sent all the way back in. This is icing on Manhattanville.
It's an important faceoff. Manhattanville with a quick strike there on that power play. UMass Boston needs a response. And on the icing here, going to get, you see, Durson with slunched over a little bit. Some guys a little bit tired here. Top line for UMass Boston out there. Or I'm sorry, the second line, but it's going to be Redler, Bryan, and Bross. The Bees line, if you will.
Redler on the face-off, and sneaking in there was Nigel Slade. He's tossed from the dot, replaced by Casper Durson. And Durson wins the face-off back. Taken in by Knight and cleared down. Bouncing puck won't make its way all the way to the end line. Taken in by Bono. About 3 minutes into the period, Bono, dangerous pass looking for Bryant, but it evades the forecheck of Manhattanville. Chance for numbers for UMass Boston onside. Bross, attacked by Ramage, coming all the way around, sends it in front. Oh, and somehow it didn't make its way through. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the Beacon who kept it out accidentally in the stick of Brian Carter.
I have no idea how that didn't go. John, I'm shocked. It looked like a great play by Bross to get that towards the front of the net. And then Redler tries to jam it home. I think you're right. Did UMass Boston stop their own goal here, John? We're going to have to take a look at the replay. It just looked like Redler had a way. It looked like he was going to bat that in. It was a great play by Bross to funnel that towards the front of the net. We'll bring you the replay here after the next whistle, but boy, it looked like it was going in, John, and the next thing you know, it's coming out the other side. It was just a weird play.
Looked like Carter was checked into the crease, and his stick accidentally kept it out. We'll get you that replay at the next whistle. As there's a shot from McGregor from the far side. Tough angle denied by Fever, and let's take a look.
Yeah, we'll take a look here, man. This is tough. Just a great play. Bross looking. He knows he's got a center guy here, so he goes wide. He's just going to funnel this. Redler finds a way to get open. He chips it right there. That puck looks like it's, oh, my God, it looks like it's going in. And then the back door, you called it, John. The contact there, Carter gets hit. And in the action or the reaction of getting hit, his stick just happened to hit the puck. I'm not sure I've seen anything like that. Totally inadvertent. But he actually bats the puck. That puck was going in, no doubt about it. That game should be tied. Instead, a great break for Manhattanville and still a 3-2 hockey game.
Well, if UMass Boston takes a look at the video and the film after this game, I think Nolan Redler might ask Brian Carter to buy him lunch, as there's a shot whistling high and wide off the stick of UMass Boston's Jeffrey Skinner, looking for his second of the day.
It's a really nice play by Bross, just even creating that scoring opportunity.
From neutral ice, Gallagher sends it in and chases after the defenseman, pinching all the way down. Taken into the boards, but Berglund gets the worst of it. And then a forearm shiver right in front of the ref, but no call, as Gallagher watches that one come back to the point, kept in smartly with the skate of McGregor. Behind the net now, D-to-D feed. Far side, Ferraro uses the high glass, could not get it out, and they're going to say a hand pass and face-off coming to neutral ice.
Nice shift there, UMass Boston. A couple opportunities, Manhattanville trying to get him on the clear and failed to do so. Weren't able to create much off of it, but makes Manhattanville think twice next time when they're in their own zone trying to break out.
Exactly 4 minutes in, face-off coming, won by UMass Boston's Johnny Regnart. Back to Albano, he's attacked very closely by the forecheck of the Valiants, and all the way back in by Tristan Ramage, taken in by Chukrin. D-to-D for Albano. Uses the sideboards. Nice play by Regnart to tip it to the far side for Holiday, who gets the body by number 4, Joel Knight. Chukrin trying to keep it in, could not at the near sideboards. Ooh, Albano tried to glove it, could not keep possession. Now to set up a chance here for the Valiants. There's a chance in front for Roella. Another try and a shot from the far side off the stick of Tristan Ramage, deflected up and into the catwalks. We will get a whistle with 15:25 to go.
Well, another player to mention for UMass Boston, Justin Holiday, his first game back, similar to Helt, dealing with a wrist injury and missed a lot of time. And you see him playing tonight here on that fourth line with Keene and Regnart. Nice little shift there, a couple hits, but a guy that really provides a lot of energy here for this UMass Boston team.
Face-off won by the Valiants, looking to go up by 2. That one knocked down in front by Chukrin as the shot attempt was coming from Kenny McLean. Jackson kept it in the zone. McLean, the only man back. He sends it back to the point. Walton, a big blast and a big save. A confidence booster perhaps by Bailey McBurney as the netminder makes the glove denial.
Wow, Walton. That was a heavy shot there. He was able to step into that one. I'll say 6'5", 225 that kid is. He was able to wire that one, and McBurney flashing the glove. Didn't quite get it. Got a good whistle there. Went for the windmill. It came out the other side. I think it would have been all right anyway, but a good stop by him.
Face off one back. Waltott sends it far side. One-time chance. Berglund in front. They score!
No way. No, that's goaltender
and
interference.
They're going to wave it off. You are right, Matt. Goaltender interference. The call in front. There's no replay at this level, and therefore that goal will not stand, much to the dismay of the Manhattanville faithful.
Yeah, they'll discuss it here. I think Manhattanville will probably claim that the guy was pushed in. Wasn't quite sure who it was in front of the net. We'll have to take a look, but this is pretty clear to me. Referee immediately calling it off. We'll take you right to the replay here, John. Let's take a look. Simple play off the draw. And this puck's going to go to the D. Now watch towards the front of the net. As it comes, you're going to see right in the slot here. And, yeah, I don't think there's any way that one's getting called back. Just a little bit of a bump there. McBurney was late getting over. And you'll see that one's calling as we're back to action here. That one's getting called back every day. So break for UMass Boston there.
Lippa backhands. It goes through the glove of Bono. McLean, though, is met brutally by Carter. Good backup for Bryant. Chance now, a blast blocked down in front. A chance for a break for UMass Boston, but Jackson gets back in front of Bross, or else it would have been a break. Zach Bross coming around. Jackson sends it in front. Deflection, and a great save by Fever. Beacons anyway were taken into the net, and they're going to send this one back out to neutral ice.
Well, it's the second time that play's worked, and I really like what Bross is doing there. He doesn't have a passing option, doesn't have a shooting lane, so what does he do? He tries to take it wide and then filter it back towards the slot, trying to hit that third forward, that F3 coming through center lane drive, and you saw it worked earlier with Redler, and it worked there again. Just a good stop there by Fever on a quick shot, and as you said, puck out in the neutral zone, looking like the net got knocked off by a Beacon.
Evan Helt will get there off the face-off win by the Valiants. They dump it down. Helt saucers it off the near side boards. Beacons, Scarce, and Santapass can't get it out, and this has been a trouble for the Beacons in this period, but they finally do. Now McGregor's got Santapass bearing towards the net. McGregor gets around the defender, sends it in front. A great save made by Fever with Santapass there. Another try, another save made by Tyler Fever on a chance from Garrett Gallagher. Back to the point, Gallagher a blast, whistling wide on the near side post. Helt kept it in, still has it in, backhands it off the glass, and eventually into the corner for Santapass. Santapass taken into the boards by Arfelt. Not many guys can do that. Santapass standing tall at 6'5". Beacons have possession. McGregor, though, loses it by his own volition. And then a big hit, laying the lumber again, Evan Helt. And that's going to be a penalty on Evan Helt. And UMass Boston's going to go shorthanded again. They call elbowing on the 6'3" native of Ohio.
Boy, I don't know, folks. I really don't know about this call. I mean, if you're going to call elbowing, it's got to be advertent. You've got to see it coming up way high. Oh, boy. And you've got a Manhattanville already with 2 power plays here tonight. Going to have their third. UMass Boston hasn't had any. That's a tough one there. We'll have to show you the replay. You know, Helt's been all over the ice. Another hit here tonight. Obviously, the referees being cognizant of 20 and white. That's a 50-50 call at best.
Face-off won by the Valiants. Anderson. Back to Lippa, back to the point. This is how they scored last time. Pitch and catch between Lippa and Arfelt. As there's a good stick save and a beaut there on McLean by McBurney.
Yeah, good stop there.
And the Beacons get it out. Bross, who had a man streaking, that was Keene. Instead, he just smartly just sends it all the way in for Arfelt to catch. Arfelt, far side. Taking it up is Berglund. Berglund saucers it and then absorbs the hit. And into the corner it comes where Dakota Keene whiffed on a clearance attempt. Comes all the way past Arfelt and all the way down. Zach Bross should be the first one to get there. He is shorthanded. Bross coming in. What a toe drag in front. He tried to tuck it home. And another try coming late, Albano. And then a third chance for Keene is denied by Fever. And that, is, my friends, should be a penalty as a late hit. Are they going to take them both?
Well, let's see. He's pointing at both here. That was late. That was definitely late. We'll see if Bross is already trying to get away from the scrum here. I got the wind knocked out of him a bit, but
it's getting chippy here this evening. Let's take a look at. And then Bross gets tripped from behind by McLean after the whistle.
Yeah, now there's guys. I mean, refs are going to have to talk here. He's taking both guys. I don't know what he's getting Bross for. I mean, this is clearly Manhattanville the aggressor here, but it'll be interesting. They're going to talk about it.
And Manhattanville will maintain a power play for the next 71 seconds if that's the case. And Bross is in the sin bin.
I don't know what they're calling Bross on. I mean, the guy got hit from behind. I think maybe perhaps he was coming in late towards the front of the net. So they're counting that as also being the aggressor, being that the whistle had already been called. I mean, another nice play. Before all this mayhem, some quick offense there. Beacons with at least 2, if not 3 shots on goal right in front of the net. But
well, it looks like McLean got the call late, and so he and Berglund are in the sin bin, which would make this evened up if that's the case. And they get 2 Valiants, and it would set up 4-on-4.
Yeah,
but we'll wait for the official call.
Yeah, and an opportunity for both teams here to recollect themselves. Still just under 13 minutes left in this period. This is interesting. Interesting how the referees are going to call this one.
Certainly is. Folks, this is the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Scooters along with Matt Meisenbacher. You are watching the 2019 Division III Men's Ice Hockey Championships. UMass Boston, the host of Manhattanville. It's 3-2, Valiants of Manhattanville. They've come back from a 2-1 deficit. And when you look at this play, I mean, the physical nature started early in this game. It's only ramped up. as this game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, this was bound to happen. Just kind of interesting here. We'll have to see what the calls are still. So they got 2 minutes on the board for Manhattanville. Nothing on UMass Boston side yet. Obviously still the original penalty, 1:12 left to go on the penalty to help. But we'll have to take a look. Talking to both sides,
Let's take a look at Evan Helt's penalty, the elbowing.
Sure.
That was a controversial call that got really all this started and got the Valiants on the power play.
20 at the blue line here. He's pinching in. Let's see. Oh, boy. I don't know. Maybe on the extension. Let's run it back again. Maybe on the extension piece, folks, you're going to see as the hit's made, maybe extends the arm a little bit late, which is where the elbow's coming in. Right there, you're clean. You know, maybe they don't like the extension there. I think that's the only thing I could see wrong with that. It's going to be 4 aside here.
Yep, just as I suspected, both Berglund and McLean. McLean for that late play on Bross way after all the skirmishes. And so that's a break for the Beacons, 4-on-4, and then the Beacons will get a power play for about 49 seconds. There's a chance. Bono was shot, and a good save as kicking the leg out Fever. He didn't know where the puck was, though. Akbar double team. Got to do a better job there. Great effort, though, by Gallagher. That would have been a breakaway for Lippa.
Yeah, and a great call, John, there. Both for those, just a quick recap. 2 penalties on Manhattanville there, 1 on UMass Boston. Bross does go on the coincidental. Not quite sure who was called with, but nevertheless, 4 aside here, and a great call by you, John.
So 4-on-4, Lippa knows what to do with it in that case. Arfelt does as well, comes all the way in save. Rebound is low, somehow does not get through as Bailey McBurney from the prone position makes the denial.
And he lost an edge. I thought for sure that one was going in. McBurney lost an edge. There's something in his crease. And he'll have to take a look and see where that divot was. He caught an edge on the way out, which is why he was on his backside when he tried to make that save. Not quite sure how that one stayed out.
17 seconds of 4-on-4 action. The Beaks will get their first power play of the evening. But they'll have to kill off the 4-on-4 first. A chance in front and a great denial with a block in front as Durson was looking to make it a 2-goal game.
And you saw there, Beacons attacked. Instead of just staying put and trying to block that shot, they attacked the puck carrier.
What a pass. No look from Durson as he connects with Brendan Cross. Another chance from Cross, finding it Durson in front, but his shot was wide. Beacons are on a power play now for the next 40 seconds. UMass Boston trying to gain possession and do something with their first power play. They do. Bono sending it far side, and then it's sent all the way back down where it's chased down by Nick Albano.
Got to settle in here. Need a good breakout. Only less than 30 seconds here on this power play. Got to try to use what you have left to create some momentum.
11:20 to go, second period. Beacons getting their power play unit out there as it's dumped in by Albano. Santa passed the first one there as he greeted Knight. A check there from behind as colliding there. A couple of players, Platt and Redler. It's dumped all the way in, and with just 10 seconds to go and no one home. Bailey will try to send it deep for Peters. Good play by Beck. Keeps it away, dumps it in, and the power play, abbreviated as it is over. Approaching the halfway mark of this hockey game, it's 3-2 Manhattanville on the road as they try to punch their ticket to the quarterfinal round of the NCAA Tournament and a date with SUNY Geneseo. Behind the net they come. Peters has it into the corner. Beacons trying to take advantage. Back to the point, Albano, far side, one-time chance, just wide of the net on a one-time blast as that one misses off the stick of Bryant.
Yeah, he missed. That was... wasn't that close. He missed that one high and wide there. Would like to have that one back, I think, for sure.
Carter backhands it all the way in. Behind the net it comes. Fever slows it down. Sashes it all the way to the far side boards. Kept in by UMass Boston. That was Chukrin. A chance in front. All alone was Redler. He couldn't get a shot away. Another try is blocked down in front by Berglund.
He poked it. Fever poked it. Otherwise, Redler had a goal.
Beacon still smelling blood here in front of the net. Instead, it's sent far side. Chukrin pinches in and keeps it in.
Great read.
Poked away from him by Anderson. Anderson gets possession over Jackson's head out into neutral ice. Peters taken down at the blue line. And the Beacons gain possession with 9:50 to go.
Redler thought he could go around the goaltender. And a couple stick handles there. He had the backhand, but Fever had one move left on the poke check, and he was able to connect on it.
What a game so far. 3-2 Manhattanville. Plenty of chances for both sides. Holiday back to the point. Carter. D-to-D feed Chukrin. Chukrin takes the shot, blocked down in front off the body of Keene. As Regnard almost got caught for holding there or hooking. Could have gone either way. And now the Beacons caught in a late pinch as Keene comes down on the leg of number 24, Eric Berglund.
Thought for sure that was a penalty there, John. Regnard with that free hand. But Beacons escaped without any call.
I think that makes the Evan Helt penalty perhaps a wash. As
absolutely.
The Beacons see Carter send it off the far side boards in front of their bench. It's sent back from whence it came. Deflected off of UMass Boston. No icing. Chukrin behind him to his defensive line mate Carter. Carter using the far side boards to find Regnart. Regnart dumps it deep. Santa Pass 1-on-2. Got it poked away. Good effort by Arfelt, and now Santa Pass dumps it in as Skinner will chase after it. Behind the net, Ferraro. Ferraro in front of Santa Pass finds Durson. Durson dumps it all the way in off the stick of Gallagher. Chasing it down, and the first one there for the Valiants is Beck. He took the body of Gallagher and allowed a chance here for Nigel Slade, who absorbs a hit from Evan Helt, who continues to aggressively pursue the puck. Dumped out to neutral ice. Knight pokes it towards the red line. Beacons take over. Here's McGregor. McGregor gets around Knight. He's got a man in front. Chance. Santa Pass never got anything on it as the backhand was blocked down by Beck. Beacons try to keep it in, and Evan Helt does. Helt shot blocked down, and a chance now for a break the other way, but losing an edge and tumbling down was Cross.
Good no call there. Good no call. A nice block there by Cross. And, oh, that was a little high.
Now a chance here for Roella.
Oh, they got it. Albano's going to go. That's a high hit. No doubt about it. That's a penalty.
Fourth power play of the day coming on up here for Manhattanville. They've scored twice. And as you said, the Beacons are going to be in trouble here in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. That's a penalty. Albano knows better. That's too high. He's going to get called on a board. But I think Blyle's going to want, Coach Blyle, UMass Boston, is going to want to talk. Because now here, you got the abbreviated power play for 30 seconds. But he's going to want to understand here, this is the fourth power play. Refs got to call it as they see it, but I think Blyle just wants to make sure and check in, hey, there's two teams out there.
They call it greasing the refs. They do it in the NFL and college football all the time. You yell at the refs enough, they may throw you one.
Yeah, and it's just good to get in the rear. I don't think Blyle's necessarily saying these are bad calls. I mean, most of these are penalties. I think he's just letting them know, hey, keeping track of the penalty count here. We've got 4 on one side and not even, I'd say, a half a power play, less than half, 25% on the other side. Yeah, exactly. So I think he's just getting in his ear, which I don't mind. But the reality of the situation is Beacon's going to have to kill another one here. We've seen this Manhattanville power play already 2 for 3 here today, and a huge part to the reason they have a lead.
And the only one they didn't score on is because it was over after a minute because of the penalty. The Beacons, you can complain about the refereeing, but you have to stop a power play. You have a 90% penalty kill in the regular season. You can't stop a power play.
Oh, without a doubt, John.
Far side, McLean poked away from him. Arfelt can't keep it in. Keene loses possession. Lippa gets there. He's always dangerous. Already has a power play goal. Berglund back to the point. Makes its way to Ferraro. Beacons keeping that shooting lane open enough so that McBurney can see it. Lippa down low, back to Lippa. From the far side, pitch and catch Arfelt. Arfelt tried to go down low, got greedy going for McLean. Beacons, though, can't gain possession. Minute 15 to go on the power play. Lippa, down low McLean. Arfelt gets it from Matt. One-time chance. Lippa on a good save with the shoulder by the netminder McBurney, and a breaks. It goes up into the netting for a whistle.
Well, this Lippa kid's got a heavy shot. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The top point getter here for Manhattanville, and this is a very simple power play. This is just a pitch and catch. They're just going to try to feed Lippa as much as they can, try to get that one-timer. You've seen Washington do it. We've seen the Blackhawks do it. A very, very simple power play, but yet very effective. You saw there, that's a heavy shot to the blocker's near side. McBurney with a nice save getting that puck up into the netting. Still a minute here to go.
And a chance for the break. Short-handed. David McGregor coming in. What a save. The puck is loose. And somehow is able to get kept out as Arfelt came back late to poke it away from the crease.
McGregor with a heavy shot of his own there. That puck was heading towards the back of the net. Manhattanville was able to get back, however, and sweep it wide. A nice opportunity there for the Beacon, short-handed.
David McGregor, so close, yet so far. And now here's Arfelt trying to give them some cushion. That one sent wide by the native of Sweden. Behind the net it comes. McLean to Lippa, 29 seconds to go on the power play. Lippa, nice feed, or at least a good look for Ferraro. Evaded his grasp. McLean again behind the net. Back to the point. Lippa sends it far side. McLean, and another save with the right leg of McBurney, and he kicks it into the netting with 13 to go on the power play.
Smart read by UMass Boston. That you allow Lippa, you give him a little bit of time and space, but you take the shooting lane away no matter what. And you saw there, they were able to do it. Lippa had no choice, got to feed that, try to go back down low. As a goaltender, McBurney's going to read that, so he understands, okay, unlikely that Lippa's going to shoot this. Not to say you cheat, but you recognize, you read the play, you try to get down to that low spot as fast as you can. He did, was able to deflect that one out of play as well. Just enough time here as the Beacons clear. They should be able to get rid of the remainder of this power play.
Huge face-off win, as you said, Matt, for the Beacons. The power play's over. 6 minutes to go, second period action. Out of the sin bin as Peters intercepted the pass but then lost it. Helt taking the blow into Martin. Behind the net, Chukrin. Nice sidestep of the hit coming from behind by Brian Platt. Platt tried to center it. Finds the stick of UMass's Evan Helt. Off the skate of Knackbauer. Daniel backhands it deep and then absorbs a hit. Fans wanted a call, nothing there. Coming up with speed to burn is Ryan Jackson. He saucers it around Nitkin. 5.5 to go, second period action. Stretch feet attempt. This is going to be icing. And yes, they will say at the last moment that it is icing as Durson gets there first with 5:26 to go.
And Beacon's got to find a way to possess. Yeah, that's not a pass. Chukrin knows a little bit better than that. That was not really to anyone there, just some miscommunication. But after that power play, Manhattanville still with the lead. They definitely have momentum. Really have probably had the edge here in the second period. Beacons need to find a way to possess. Still 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes to go in this third period. If they can get some scoring opportunities here, might find a way to tie this thing up going into the third.
Face off, one back. Coming all the way in was Ramage. Instead, it's deflected out into neutral ice. Knight will chase after it. 5 and change to go. Beacons getting fresh legs out onto the ice. Carter pinching in. Coming up the rear of Durson, who dumps it all the way in. And icing, what feels like the first in a long time on the visiting Valiants.
Big shift for UMass Boston here. You got an opportunity on the icing to get the matchup you want. You go with the second line. Redler on the left with Brian in the middle, Bross on the right. And this line's look good. Got to try to obviously win this draw, but maybe win this thing back. Activate the D a little bit with Carter and Bono on the ice there. Two defensemen that can really shoot the puck.
Face off one by Bryant, but it skips over the stick of Carter and all the way down.
That's the one you wanted. Sentiment did his job, just got a bad bounce.
Redler slaps at it, but Slade comes all the way through. Durson gets it poked away. Redler, nice no-look feed, and then gets crunched afterwards. And that allows Carter, no-look feed intended. Bryant makes the shot attempt, but it was blocked down in front. And a penalty finally coming up here on Tristan Ramage and the Knights.
Well, credit this one. You know, that's a nice little hook there. Coach Blyle, a little bit of assist. That's a penalty, and UMass Boston going on the power play for the first time here today with 4:44 left in this period. Just a hook in front of the net there. There's a nice little pass there. Carter, it was number 4 for UMass. It's a nice little play there. Stopped at the blue line, tried to feed that backdoor through the slot, and Manhattanville was there on the recovery, but an opportunity here for UMass Boston.
Beacons keep it in at the point. One-time chance, Albano the save. Rebound is loose, poked away on a beautiful effort by Ferraro as bearing down was Nolan Redler.
Yeah, nice work by Albano getting that shot through. There's a definite rebound, but no Beacons around the pucks. A few times today there's been some rebounds there. Fever not 100% on his rebound control. UMass Boston buzzing, just haven't been able to find a way to connect with one.
Albano through neutral ice. Nice deke to get around Platt. He's onside into the attacking zone, sends it all the way around. It'll make its way towards Bross. Poke check by him, and that'll allow a chance to be cleared by Berglund, who sends it all the way down.
You know, you work so hard to get that puck into the offensive zone on the power play, and then to not have an option there for Albano, man, it makes things really tough.
Bryant onside into the attacking zone. Deeks around. Chance sitting on a tee. Albano all the way in. Tried to roof it, but too high over the crossbar.
He had it. He absolutely had it. We had the best angle in the house for that one, John. He had the glove side high. I think he saw it as well. Just totally missed it.
Here comes the Beacons again. Knackbauer far side finds Skinner. It evaded his initial grasp. That's going to cause trouble. It's going to eat up time at the very least. Poked away towards Knackbauer. Still loose in the corner. Daniel absorbing the check there from the defender Jackson. And then Jackson is able to clear all the way down. 40 seconds left.
Solid kill by Manhattanville. This is the old bend but don't break. A couple of opportunities there for UMass Boston. Weren't able to convert, and then as soon as Manhattanville gets the puck, it's going down all the way.
Albano over the red line, now the blue. Nick coming in, heels back. Will set up the formation, finds Peters. Peters far side, one-time chance, what a save! As diving to his left is Fever, and a beautiful denial of Jeff Skinner on the far side.
Fever's best of the night, no doubt about it there, John. The old sprawl, the back door. Skinner, I think, wants that one back. I don't think he got all of that. I really don't. I think the way his reaction tells me he thought he could have gotten a little bit more, been a little bit more accurate with that shot. But nevertheless, Fever just getting there. The complete sprawl, that's a long way to travel as a goaltender. You go to the top of your crease on one side, all the way down to the bottom of your crease on the other. And a good sprawling save there to keep his team ahead. Still 18 seconds on this power play for UMass Boston.
Face off, one into the sideboards. Beacons get there. Peters backhand to the point. Chukrin. And Gabe just whiffs on a pass, and that will really do it for the power play. Beacons will rifle it all the way in. Slowed down by Fever. 5 seconds left. It will make its way out, and that'll do it for the power play. The Beacons now 0 for 2 with the extra attacker compared to 2 for 4 for the visitors. Here's Peters coming all the way in. Tough angle shot. Side of the net. Wraparound chance. He scores! What a play! Hey, the freshman Chris Peters. The Beacons have tied it up 3-3 with 2:34 to go.
Well, it looked like a nothing play there, John. It looked like it was just going to be a whistle. He shot his puck and it hit the outside of the net. I thought Fever had a chance to cover it. Instead, he corrals his own rebound and knew immediately what he wanted to do with it. Tucks it home on the wraparound. No chance Fever getting there. You'll see it here on the replay. This is just a hard work, hard individual play here. Just take a look, folks. This puck's going to come into the net on a little bit as a mini rush here, but just a great individual effort. I thought it was dead right here. I thought he's done. He's just going to fire it into the net. Instead, he missed the net, and it actually helped him. 9 out of 10 times, that's a forward just going to bury it into the goaltender. You take your whistle and live to see another day. Instead, he missed wide. Obviously, didn't mean to do that, but instead, it gave him the opportunity to corral the puck, come out the other side, and tuck it home. No one there. Again, the Beacons scoring late in the period. We got a 3-3 hockey game, folks.
If we know one thing, these Valiants of Manhattanville don't go away. Behind the net it comes. Lippa watches it poke to the point for Jackson. Jackson shot well wide of the net on the short side. And then whiffing on an outlet feed attempt was Bryant. As this one's deflected out to the red line, Bryant gloves it to himself. That's legal. Bryant over the red line onside, sending it in front for Redler, but was unable to find him as he was attacked smartly by Anderson.
Yeah, it was the right look. Just got tied up there. Redler did. He gets a stick on that, and it'll be a tough save for Fever.
Behind the net, good aggressive forecheck from Bross. 103 seconds to go in the second period. A whole new hockey game at 3-3. UMass Boston and Manhattanville here in the 2019 Division III Men's Ice Hockey Championships. Bono, loses an edge, sets up a chance for McLean in front, and a good save, as I don't know if he necessarily got the shot away, was Platt, but nonetheless, McBurney stood tall. Excuse me, that was Hapo.
Yeah, he didn't, John. It was a read by McBurney on the broken play. He was able to get his stick and break up that crossing pass. Just a good read by the goaltender there to break that thing up. Otherwise, he was going to be challenged if that puck got through.
First chance to mention the Finnish native from Krainonen, Finland.
Oh, well done.
Maybe, as that one comes back towards the blue line.
I give you credit on that. That's
with 60 seconds to go, it's stopped by McGregor, setting up a chance for Skinner. Skinner's got a cutter in front and unable to find Peters, who was looking for 2 in the last 2 minutes.
Crossing passes there for UMass Boston, and you saw Bono catch an edge behind the net. Just under a minute here. He's headed to the locker room. Got to imagine that's a skate issue.
Hopefully, as here's Capo gets decapitated as he is sent into the bench and into the glass, and UMass Boston sends this one all the way in with 31 seconds to go.
Gabe Chukrin, feats of strength. You saw him there, just pushed him right in the wall. Beacons possessing a little bit, but Chukrin brings that outside the blue line. What a hit.
Nico Hapo, he's back onto his skates and fine and ready to go. The native of Finland was sent back home with that hit. As Chukrin watched this one come down, that's icing, and with 14 seconds to go, a chance for one more effort.
Just 12 left to go. Boy, oh boy, man, what a hit there. Chukrin, one of the stronger Beacons, and you witnessed it there, folks. Not sure you had the best angle on it. We sure did. He just shoved him right down. Hippo immediately getting off the ice. It's been a strong physical effort by both teams here tonight. Both teams going to have to really dig deep here. And another Beacon seeking attention by the medical staff. Gallagher now being attended to by the UMass Boston trainer, Ed Perkins.
8 seconds left. Last chance for Romance in the period. It's tied up, and that will do it as it's saucered out to neutral ice. Boy, oh boy, we came into this one with hopes of a real Donnybrook, and we've gotten Matt Meisenbacher through 40 minutes of play. 3 goals aside, the Beacons trailing for much of that period, and a spectacular individual effort from Peters. One of many underclassmen who are getting it done, whether it be Evan Helt with the hits or Peters or Bryant with the goals. Right now, through 40 minutes, it's all going to come down to one frame.
Yeah, how about the freshmen here? A strong senior class here for UMass Boston, and it's the freshmen getting it done. Just a really great job here. UMass Boston being able to respond there late in the period once again. We saw it in the first period with less than 30 seconds to go. In this case, about 2 minutes left in the period, but sure enough, just a great effort by these Beacons, man. And these types of games, you expect the intensity to be there. You expect both teams to give their best effort. the physicality's there, the speed is there. We've seen some amazing plays. Goaltenders coming up with some great stops there. We've seen a little bit of everything here. This has been quite a hockey game here, folks, and already 6 goals in this period now. 20 minutes left to play. We'll have to wait and see what we get in the third.
It has been a real doozy cooking up here as the Beacons and the Valiants tied up at 3 after 2 periods of play. Well, as we're cooking up a great game here, apparently John Bono's cooking up a lot at home. We got a chance to catch up with him on the Beacon Spotlight on why he became a cook and why cooking has helped him with nutrition and to become a better hockey player. That's up next right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I think the interest has always been there as a kid growing up and having my mom as a big cook and my grandparents. And then when I started to live on my own, I really enjoyed home-cooked meals and everything like that. So my mom bought me a cookbook, and it's been uphill ever since. Yeah, my favorite meal right now has to be my homemade raviolis, simply because it takes the most time and most effort, and it's pretty cool to say that you handmade your own raviolis, and they turned out pretty well after a few rough batches, but all in all, I'm excited that they came out, and I look forward to making them sometime soon. I love steak. I'm a big New York strip guy. There's nothing better, with some pasta on the side and some broccoli. Big broccoli guy, and it usually ranges. Sometimes it'll be chicken and pasta, steak and pasta, but always some type of pasta involved in there. So we've only done a couple team dinners. I came to Colin Larkin last year and thought it would be a good idea to get all the boys together for a big dinner, and I made some chicken and pasta, and I'll probably never do that again because it took probably, I'd say 30 hours to put everything together, and we had over 5 trays of chicken and pasta. But this year we did it again, and I slow roasted some pork butt, and it was phenomenal because I was able to just pop it in the oven and let her cook up, and took it apart, and I just let everybody go with a fork and kind of just, take as you please. And I'd say that turned out pretty well, so we might do another one here on Friday night, but we'll have to see. I just genuinely enjoy cooking. I see it as a big stress reliever for me. To me, there's nothing better than throwing on a little music and going through and making your own dinner, because at the end of the day, knowing that you prepared the meal that you're about to eat, that's pretty self-fulfilling. But I mean, I love cooking just as much as I love hockey, and I see it as a way, just to fuel, my body properly, not even for hockey, but just to be a healthy individual. That's something that's very important to me, and I've come to learn that food is fuel, so you got to fuel the body right in order to perform on the ice and off the ice.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scudras standing by with Matt Meisenbacher, Hiattara Clark Athletic Center's Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. And boy, oh boy, Matt, that second period, a high and low of emotion-filled 20 minutes of play. And when you look back at it, the power play goal early by Matt Lippa, the senior from Ontario, is 18th of the year. And we take a look at the highlight here of that goal. When you look at it, the one-time chance, that was really the dagger early on, but since then the Beacons have tied it up on a beautiful effort from Peters, as Chris Peters and company got the job done to even things up at 3 late. Look back at that second period, what stands out to you?
Well, you saw the goal there, and that's just kind of a microcosm of what the majority of the period was. Manhattanville really was taking it to the Beacons. They were possessing the puck, they were getting the calls, they added some power plays, and you saw there really had the lead. It was a 3-2 hockey game for the majority of that period. But we've seen the Beacons respond twice now with that late goal, and already some controversy in this hockey game is talking off there with some of the Manhattanville side of the broadcast. A little bit questionable on that goalie interference. They seem to have thought that perhaps there was some contact initiated by the goaltender instead of, I believe it was McLean in front there. So a little bit of controversy, which in games like this you expect, but just a dominant period. I thought Manhattanville really did a nice job. The majority of that period was in their favor, but the Beacons found a way to score once again late. Not a recipe for winning. I don't think Coach Pyle loves the fact that they're playing from behind. We saw for the second period, but find a way to, in this third period here, perhaps get a lead as we're tied up at 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Between the goals, the one by Lippa and then the one by Peters, we saw a lot of chippiness, beginning with As we said, controversial call is one of many. The Evan Helt elbowing call that put the Beacons shorthanded for the 4th time. Then shortly thereafter, the Beacons had a shorthanded opportunity that led to coincidental minors on a couple of players. And then after the play, Kenny McLean getting called for an unsportsmanlike conduct minor, which set the Beacons up for their first power play of the day after a 4-on-4. There was so much going on in that period. How can the third period even live up to it? Oh, wait. We still have a winner to decide in a 3-3 game.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we're the way this one feels now, we should just take it to OT. Forget the third. Just take it to sudden death. No, you know what? I think both teams obviously giving their best effort here tonight, and you'll see in these highlights. I mean, back and forth. Every time you think one team's going to step away with it and might find a way, to really walk out of here with their heads held high, the other team seems to come back and respond properly. So, really exciting here for the third period as these fans file in and out of their seats getting prepped. I think you can feel the energy in the rink. We're in for one here, John.
We certainly are. Let's take a look now at the second period statistics. You take a look on your screen. Beacons out shooting Manhattanville 13-7 in the period. That would put them at 26-17 overall. Meanwhile, for UMass Boston, they finally got a power play 0 for 1. Manhattanville was 1 for 3 in that period, 2 for 4 overall. In the third period, the Beacons need to play more discipline. These refs, I mean, they're not calling everything, but they've called the Beacons for a few. They cannot go back to the sin bin.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Getting some chirps via text from some of these alumni on the UMass Boston side going over the rules there late in the period. I think some of these calls, the majority of them, refs have done a nice job, keeping them fair, keeping them clean. Question them on the Helt one, but I think they let a couple go thereafter just to kind of even things up. Obviously, a little bit in favor of Manhattanville. Had a couple more power plays, but I thought overall the refs have done a nice job in allowing the flow of the game to take over. Sometimes the referees in games like this really try to micromanage and call absolutely everything. Really creates a choppy game. You really can't get a feel for it. Not the case here tonight. I think the referees have done a really nice job allowing players to have a physical side to their game and allow some of those 50-50 calls to go unnoticed. I really like the way this game has gone so far. It's been very exciting, and I think the folks at home would probably agree.
I think so as well. Let's take a look and see what else is happening in the NCAA tournament so far. End of 2 periods. Hobart College has evened it up with Plymouth. For Plymouth State, Ryan Stevens is first of the postseason. Got them on the board in the first period. Hobart answered on Julianne Denicourt's first of the game. It's 1-1 in the third period between those two vaunted foes. Also in the third period, New England College leading Trinity College of Connecticut 2-0 for UNE. Ryan Bloom with a goal and an assist. Brady Florent with 2 assists. And Tyler Seltenreich with a goal and an assist. So that line lighting it up for UNE. And St. Norbert right now have yet to begin against Augsburg around the NCAA tournament. So things really cooking up here as we continue along here on the Intermission Report. Let's go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have highlights of that exciting second period right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, and I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Matt Meisenbacher along with John Scooters, Beacons and the Valiants tied up at 3. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. The winner of this game traveling to take on SUNY Geneseo in the quarterfinal round next Saturday, March 16th at 7 p.m. That'll be
really
down
good team
at Geneseo. Really good team.
Yeah.
One loss on the campaign.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about the Beacons and the Valiants and their opportunities coming into play. But those teams that they will have to go up against in the quarterfinals and the semifinals, those teams this season have been another breed. We'll see.
Yeah, tall task.
Which of these teams will get a chance to take them on. Matt, let's take a look at the highlights of the second period. And really, it started out with the goal from Manhattanville, ended with a goal from the Beacons, and a lot in between.
Yeah, let's run it here. Just, again, the pitch and catch on the power play. This is really simple. I mean, about as simple as it gets. I like the fake there, which created time and space, and then Lippa just throws everything he had behind that puck. You know, Arfelt really created that play with the fake, and then Lippa finishing it off, McLean with the screen. That gave Manhattanville an early 3-2 lead, and then you're going to see here after, no goals to speak of until far later, but some great action, some great hockey. UMass Boston with an opportunity here, and then Manhattanville with a response. This puck's going to come out to the far side. Just an absolute blast there. That was Waltott. Again, the 6'5", 225 senior defenseman there out of Stockholm, Sweden. Got everything he had behind that one. You see a lot of the slap shots. This is the one, the controversy, I guess, quote-unquote, that we're hearing from. Manhattanville seemed to think that the call was incorrect. The goaltender had initiated contact. We obviously saw it a little bit differently. Referees did as well. This is the one where I thought the Beacons, again, you're going to see a pattern here, just taking things wide and then trying to get them towards the front of the net. Now, Manhattanville is doing a great job in their coverage, but UMass Boston just continues to find areas where they can get pucks towards the front, try to whack one home. Now, they haven't been successful, but clearly a pattern in the way that they want to go through things. And then here's this penalty, folks. Again, you know, from my vantage point, it really looked clean. I think the referee's vantage point, it looked like the elbow extended a bit, which I think created the call. 50-50, I would say, overall. UMass Boston found a way to try and generate some opportunities shorthanded here. You see at least 2 shots on goal, and then that shot there on Bross, that was a penalty. That gave the Beacons a short that we played 4-a-side here for a while. Manhattanville with some opportunities of their own. You're going to see some still not sure how that one didn't go in there, John. McBurney catching an edge. I thought for sure that was going to end up in the back of the net. However, it didn't. It went behind. UMass Boston continues to pressure. Still a 3-2 hockey game at this point. This is the one Redler in front. He had all day and just tried to, a couple stick handles, go to his backhand, but wasn't able to connect. It looked like Fever got a little bit of a stick there on that one. And then here's McGregor, again, going wide, trying to find a way to get that towards the slot. Unfortunately, Santa Pass got it on his backhand, wasn't able to get everything he wanted on that. Manhattanville with a little bit of power play here. There's an opportunity coming down the far side, just a nice play and a great stop. I thought that puck had a chance to go in there, John. Manhattanville did a great job getting back, keeping that one out of the net. And then sure enough, here you see on the rush coming down the far side, Carter's going to pull up there and find his center coming through. Fever, I believe that shot was partially blocked. Fever might have made a save on it, got a little bit of a piece. Nevertheless, Manhattanville continues to take the lead. And then UMB coming down here, you're going to see a nice move there. This puck comes back to the middle. Albano misses it high. That one definitely had a chance to go. But then sure enough, here's the goal. UMass Boston, again, late in the period, coming through the center there. This puck's going to come wide towards the front there, that off the net, and then able to tuck that home was Peters. You see the celly there caught an edge. You never want to see that, but still the goal counted. UMass Boston with a shot here late in the period. That one had a chance to go, but again, just a great individual effort there by Peters to, again, we've seen twice now. UMass Boston creating opportunities out of nothing there. That's just a nothing play. Was able to corral the puck, tuck it in on the far side, and tie this thing up at 3. Boy, a lot of highlights in that period, John, and we expect more here in this third.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't show there was the great save by the stick of Brian Carter for the Valiants. Brian Carter, of course, a Beacons blue liner. He pinched all the way in on the chance from Redler when he dived to poke it in. That puck was headed towards the net back when the Beacons were trailing 3-2. And then Brian Carter inadvertently was checked into the way of the shot, and his stick blocked it from going in. So this could even be a Beacons lead. Likewise, if they didn't call it goaltender interference, it could be a Valiants lead. Instead, it's 3-3 after 2 periods of play. The Beacons are back on their bench. They'll be moving left to right. The fans are back in their seats. And the Valiants will be moving right to left. Matt, as we get set for the third period, tie game, 20 minutes left in one of these two teams' seasons and a lot of these players' careers. What is the key to the third period?
The worst thing you can do, and this goes for either side, the absolute worst thing you can do in a game like this is try to do everything individually. Try to be the hero. You know, you throw in a couple toe drags there, curl and drags, whatever you want to call it, and you create an opportunity going down the other end, put a lot on your goaltender and your defenseman. You see it at every level. It's the worst thing you can do. Continue to work your systems. Both teams have done a really nice job. Now, I expect there to be some changes, perhaps to the lines, perhaps to the forechecks that they've been running, but minor edits only here. You don't want to try to do too much if you're a forward. Allow this game to go, and if you do get the opportunity, just fire the thing on net. Don't try to do too much there. Get these things on net. Obviously a high-scoring game here so far. It's already 3-3. We are in for one here, John. This is going to be great.
Yes, we are. Daniel Nachbauer, Ethan Nitkin, and Chris Peters, the forwards for the Beacons. Chukrin and Albano as Nachbauer wins it back to Chukrin are the blue liners. Dumped into the attacking zone, now back out to neutral ice. Intercepted, pocket picked by Peters. One of 2 freshmen for the Beacons to have scored today. Back out to neutral ice, Gabe Chukrin sends it in. A player was injured, I think.
Yeah,
that's Casper Durson.
Yeah, the captain. Slow to get up. Initiated the whistle there. We'll have to see. Training staff almost coming onto the ice here. Not quite sure. Didn't see it. It was behind the play. Looked like Nachbauer had originally hit him. It didn't look like much, however.
Durson gotten in a tough spot. He was a little feeble coming off, but under his own power.
Yep. Looks to be all right.
From neutral ice, just outside the blue line. Face-off won by the Valiants. Dumped deep towards the red line, and then a good play on the forecheck. What a play from Anderson, who was able to intercept it from Chukrin and then gain possession around Albano. Nachbauer, though, good heady effort. Gets it to Nitkin. Beacons breaking out. Saucers it over the stick of the defender, Jackson. There's a big blast. Oh, and then Fever lost sight of it as it sailed high and wide from the stick of Gabe Chukrin. Behind the net. Waltop wheels back from whence he came. Passes it towards the slot. Anderson gets it out towards the red line, but the Beacons gain possession. Albano to Nitkin. Ethan loses possession on the hit from Waltot. Platt hands it off. And Ferraro will slow things down as fresh legs will join him on the ice for the Valiants. Just a minute 10 into the third period of a 3-3 game in the first round of the NCAA Tournament here in 2019 from UMass Boston. What a feed from Bross, finds Redler. Redler takes the shot, gloved out of the air by Fever. A stoppage with 18:42 to go.
Yeah, just taking a look there. I was taking a look at the eyes of Redler. You see the two communicating right here. I think he was trying to find a way to get that over to Bross, whether it be on a pass or maybe a pass-off pad. Didn't have the right lane for it. And so instead, I like what he did there. Just fired on net, forced the goaltender to make a stop, and get the in-zone draw there. Unfortunately for the Beacons, they lose that, but a nice read there by Redler.
Behind the net, Bross, as it was kept in from Helt. Bross peels back in front of Arfelt behind the net. Arfelt takes him towards the boards, but does not dislodge it from the puck initially. Second chance effort does. Lippa's able to bat it towards neutral ice. Couple of good shifts here for the Beacons to start this third period. Possession now gained from Lippa, who's dangerous every time he touches it. He backhands it deep and chases behind Gallagher. Gallagher tried to peel it back. Overskating it was Lippa. And the Beacons are able to clear as Bryant sends it out to neutral ice. Platt connecting near side with Ramage, who sends a bouncing puck towards the crease, covered up by McBurney with Roella bearing down.
Well, we'll take a moment here. Our pleasure working with you here so far, John. This has been great. The first time now that UMass Boston has hosted a tournament, obviously conference play, but a national tournament game. And just a credit here, a shout out to our national audience. We really hope you're enjoying the broadcast here, but an exciting moment for UMass Boston as a school. Their first at-large bid and their first time hosting a NCAA tournament game.
Absolutely. Here's a chance, meanwhile, for the Valiants to answer here in the third. But getting dislodged was Brendan Cross on a good defensive effort by Carter. Behind the net, Bono. Call him the chef as he's trying to cook up a good play out of his own zone. He does, getting it out to neutral ice.
You can see neither team really giving too much here. Both trying to play more conservative here, trying to not force anything offensively and defensively, making sure you've got coverage as that puck's intercepted.
Good play from Bono. Sends it in, kicked away with the right leg. Off the glass it comes, stays in play. And sets up a one-on-one chance the other way for Jeff Beck. Beck takes the shot, just whistles wide as McBurney lost sight of it. Another try on the wraparound, denied by Bailey as well. Back to the point for Waltot it comes. Waltott, D to D, far side, Jackson. His shot deflected just wide of the net on the far side post. Another try, the puck is loose and kicked away by Brian Carter with a man bearing down in the form of Jeff Beck.
That's a really nice shot by Beck. We haven't mentioned his name yet tonight, but that puck didn't miss by much. He tried to go glove side and just missed, hitting the post. And the Valiants were able to create some offense off of that, but boy, it looked like he had McBurney beat there.
Beck, 5 goals, 6 assists on the season. Looking for number 6, none bigger. Just missed wide of the net. 3.5 into the third period. Deflected deep by Durson, who is okay and back out on the ice after going down in his last shift. Puck bounces towards Holiday. Nice feed connecting with John Regnart. Regnart sauces it in and chases. Takes the hit from behind from Anderson. Fever pokes it to the near side corner. Holiday pinching in. Absorbs a big hit. And a big level there by Anderson.
Huge hit from Anderson there. That's a big boy, Justin Holiday, and he went right down to the ice. That's a big hit by Anderson.
Almost a turnover. In fact, it will be as the Beacons lose it to Ferraro. Ferraro finds Anderson, who dumps it deep before absorbing the check from Gallagher, who may have gotten the knee to the leg. He is limping a little bit. Holiday evades the hit of the charging Berglund. Gets it deep into the corner. Beacons get some fresh legs, trying to regroup 3-on-3 in their own zone. McLean, and just off sides was Berglund by centimeters in the Beacon zone.
You can see there, even on the rush, people at home probably getting a little bit jumpy, but UMass Boston with 3 players back there. And clearly both teams have discussed in the intermission, the second intermission there, we cannot get beat in coverage. We've got to make sure we've got guys back. We don't want to give up a rush here unless we absolutely have to. And you saw there, Beacons playing very safe with 3 guys there. Turnover, Lippa with the puck.
That hit the referee, an assist there as this one deflected. Peters and Bross were back to play defense as that one is sent up into the netting. Matt, we didn't mention it during the second period, but a reason why there were so many on-man rushes, that's the period of the long change for both of these teams, and that sets up a nature where that's much more likely.
Yeah, you saw it a couple times there, John. Great point by you. And we'll reiterate Manhattanville's propensity to score late in games. And we saw it there. Only 1 there in the second, but statistically score far more in the second and third than they do in the first. So something to make note of here as we approach the first 5 minutes gone in this third.
15-20 to go. McLean gets the feed onside. McLean coming in. Blocked down. Rebound is loose. That one sent just wide. And then gloved out of the air by Bailey McBurney, whose hand-eye coordination unrivaled with 15-16 to go.
Oh, that's tough on the goaltender and the defense. You've got McLean coming in with speed. And this guy can really shoot. He's a small guy, but he can find time and space. You saw there, got the shot up. It was blocked. And then he got his rebound. I thought it had a chance to go, but McBurney flashed the glove again here tonight. It's been strong. No rebound. Covered things up for an in-zone draw, but a broken play into some offense there for the Valiants.
Jackson lost it off a face-off win by Manhattanville, and that will force them to touch up. They didn't as Ruella made contact over the blue line, offsides, and a face-off comes to the right of UMass Boston's blue line.
Continuing to push here, both teams, we mentioned it before, how critical these face-offs become here. The later this hockey game goes, especially when tied, so important to try and possess the puck as much as you can.
Face-off won by Alex Ruella. Waltott sends it off the end boards, careening towards Helt. Helt finds Redler, who pokes it forward, 2-on-2. Bryant looking for Bross just out of his grasp. No icing. Fever comes out, pokes it towards the near side for Waltott, but Bross got there to poke it near side towards Bryant. Bryant fighting for it, could not gain possession, and that'll allow a chance for Lavallee and company to break out. All the way down it comes, but Jared lost possession. Helt plays keep away from Lavallee. Hands it off to Gallagher, right back to Evan Helt, and the Beacons move forward. Evan, nice attempt to saucer it, a little too much though, and that is not icing, waved off.
Yeah, I like the read by Helt. That's a risky pass there. If you're going to do that, you've got to make sure you connect. That's a tough cross-ice pass through the neutral zone. You really risk getting that turned over and coming down your other end. Just got to be careful with those types of plays.
Well, it ended up working because icing was waved off, and then Fever had to cover it up to the left of his crease, and so the Beacons get a face-off in the attacking zone as they send out McGregor, Skinner, and Sanapass. The D-line, the third unit of Bono and Carter.
And for those that have been to the Edward Berry Ice Arena, pretty close to a sellout here. I don't know if we're at max capacity, but probably the biggest crowd of the year, I'd say. Really great to see, even at the Division III level, both of these teams generating some good fans.
Dumped all the way in. Bono gets there. He's greeted rudely, I may say, by Nigel Slade. Back to the point it comes, blocked down in front by Carter on a shot attempt from Ferraro. Beacon's trying to break it the other way. Fever gets the dump, tries to saucer it out of the zone, can't on the first effort. Good heady effort by Jeff Beck as he pokes it forward. Now Nigel Slade onside into the attacking zone. Bailey backhands it around, playing keep away from Beck. Bono does the same, finds Carter. Carter to Santapass. As a long shift here for this line, Santapass tried to find Skinner. It's intercepted by Anderson. Anderson rifles it into the glove of McBurney before absorbing the hit from the 6'5", 235-pounder from Illinois, Garrison Santapass.
If I'm Coach Blyle, I am making note of my team. We've got to stop at the cross ice through the neutral zone. That's now the second or third time where they've tried to connect. It's either converted into icings or turnovers. It seems like the Valiants are trying to bait them into that pass, and it's just not there.
Not sure how that's not hooking.
Seemed like it.
As taken down pretty vividly was Regnard, who then gets truck-sticked, and there's the penalty. Johnny is down. Regnard taken down by a runaway freight train in the form of Corey Anderson, and John Regnard is still down at the red line.
Yeah, that's bad. I think Anderson thought that pass was going to Regnard, and that's why he tried to level him. I thought he was going to – it was pretty evident that pass was intended for Regnard. I think that's why Anderson took a chance and tried to read the play, hit him almost like a cornerback on a wide receiver. You just try to time it as perfect as you can, and when that pass doesn't connect, Regnard down here, hopefully okay. Ed Perkins there attending to him. He took a big hit. That's a big guy. Anderson's a heavy hitter. We've seen already tonight listed at 6 foot, 205. Regnard not quite that size, and we'll have to see what the referees call. Looks like it's just going to be a minor.
Regnard moving and now up to his skates. Great to see as John Regnard is up under his own power.
It's a big hit.
Skating off the ice without any help as the Beacons centerman, one-time defenseman, now centerman, draws the penalty on Anderson moments after what looked like he could have drawn a hooking penalty. Now the Beacons indeed go to the power play, and a huge one for UMass Boston.
And just for in case his friends and family are watching, Regnard is going to be looked at by the training staff, and seems like just precautionary, did walk off under his own power. But as you said, John, Beacons with a great opportunity here. 13 minutes to play and getting their first full second power play here of the night.
Almost 7 minutes into the period. Face-off won by the Valiants. Waltott backhands it, knocked down, and unable to get it out, or now able to get it out of the zone, unable to keep it in the zone was Bross. Peters harassed by Slade. As Bryant will hand it off to Albano, and now here's Chris Peters. 1:40 to go on the power play. Peters holds on, hands off to Albano. Albano behind the net, and eventually it does make its way towards Bross. Back to the point it comes. Pitch and catch between Peters and Albano. Near side, Peters back to Albano. Down low they come for Redler. One-time feed, and then Bross's shot is kicked away by the glove of the netminder, Fever.
That's a nice play there. That's the old high to low, and just goaltender Fever there was able to be in the right position. Beacons continuing to pressure.
67 seconds on the power play. 2-minute minor on Corey Anderson. Peters back to Albano. One-time blast. Save. Rebound is loose in the slot. Back to Albano. Down low chance. Oh, and then taken down from behind was Redler, and he was not home for the feed from Peters.
Peters tried to feed the back door. It was there. Couldn't connect. Beacon still pressuring. Another save by Fever. Another save.
What a beautiful effort from Fever. And on point-blank range shots from Bryant. Sending it in front. Bross, another save. Rebound is loose, and Fever covers up before Redler can get there as he's buried in the crease with 38 to go on the minor penalty.
Well, your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer. And I don't know how many there, John. That is some great, outstanding goaltending. Fever with at least 5, if not 6 key saves there. The Valiants were completely gassed, and they were not moving. Beacons were doing everything they could to try and get the best shot, best angle. But Fever just continued to make saves. His angling was proper. Not a ton of rebounds there. You see the one he did make, he was able to cover it up. Still 38 seconds here on this power play, but they were throwing everything at him there. UMass Boston was, and Valiants really gassed at the end of that penalty kill. Thanks to Fever, still a 3-3 hockey game.
Ferraro trying to clear on the Valiant face-off win. And eventually comes out the blue line, but not out. Beacons keep it in with 28 seconds to go. Skinner shot, another save by Fever, as he continues to play well on this penalty kill. Chakran far side, Albano near side, Knockbauer, but unable to settle it down with Skinner. Santa pass behind the net, comes in front, wraparound chance. Not in yet. The Beacons are celebrating. The refs say no. The referee says no. The net eventually came off its moorings. Not sure if it was covered in the crease, and we'll probably never find out with 10 seconds left on the power play.
Well, that's about as close as you get. You've got the guy you want in that type of scenario. Santa Pass is the biggest Beacon, and he's got obviously the longest reach. And he came from behind in the net, trying to tuck it far side. It looked like Fever might have gotten a piece. But nevertheless, the puck was loose. And the referee was in proper position, no doubt about it. Take a look at the replay here, folks. You're going to see is this puck that's going to come low there. That's the missed pass. And then watch as it comes low. Santa Pass is going to get it here and just go right towards the front of the net. Now he tries to tuck it. Referee's in right where he needs to be, in front of the net. And I'm not going to argue. He's got the read on it, immediately waved it off. Still 10 seconds on this power play, but Beacons continuing to pressure. Boy, this is about as close as you can get to scoring without putting one on the board.
Both teams getting controversial no calls now on that right net. As now getting tossed from the face-off circle. Slade, he didn't like it. Replaced from Beck. Riley trying to win the face-off. He does. Chance Albano deflected in front, never made its way through. Riley back towards Albano. Nick keeps it in with 2 seconds left. That one deflected off the shot by Beck. And now the power play is over. Beacon still with possession. Keene whiffs on a chance to center it. And that'll allow a chance at the very least for it to be slowed up by Knight. As they fight for possession in the corner, Albano, D-to-D feed. Chukrin tees it up. Deflected just wide of the net as it never made its way through off the leg of Dakota Keene.
Well, a couple opportunities there. Not more than a couple. That is the most pressure we've seen from the Beacons all night without scoring.
Albano, beautiful interception at the red line as he was playing aggressively. Holiday's backhand, though, sent way into the netting. It was deflected, and so an offensive zone faceoff. Looking back at that no call, it looked like one of the Valiants was laying on top of the puck. The Beacons tried to push him into the net. Not only an effort, but it also poked the net off its moorings, and if that's the case, makes sense for the no call.
Man, they were all over it there. If you're a Beacon fan, you kind of felt it coming. You felt like you were going to get one there. Valiants just didn't have much left. Just complete possession for full 2 minutes there for the team in white. Just couldn't able to connect. And Fever with an unreal couple great saves there. Just an unreal effort to kill off that penalty. You could say he killed it off on his own.
Held shot, blocked down in front. Rebound is loose. Sent wide of the net by Peters, who was checked then down to the ice. And right now, Tyler is a Fever that the Beacons can't sweat out as there's a chance in front. Back and they score! Chris Peters is second of the day, the third for Beacons freshman, and UMass Boston delivers. It's 4-3 Beacons.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, and we've been talking about it all night. The Beacons have not deviated from the game plan, just continuing to get pucks to the front of the net. It's a hard task. You're going to get hit. You're going to take a beating, but they continue to do so. And you see here, Peters, just watch the replay, folks. This is just nothing but grit. From below the net, this puck's going to come out to the front. Now just watch, and you hear the crowd. Again, a similar play to Santa Pass, but from behind the net towards the front and just jam it home. Peters is there on the back door to tuck it home, give his team a lead. 10 minutes to play here. You hear the crowd getting into it. We've got a 4-3 lead for the Beacons.
Chris Peters' second goal in 12 game minutes. He tied the game late in the second period. He gives the Beacons the lead here in the third, just their second lead of the day since it was 1-0. And here in the third period, the Beacons have put pedal to the metal, and the Valiants will have to counter.
Now, John, how will these teams respond? So critical, the shift after a goal. You hear me mention it a lot as this puck looks like it's coming out of play. Hopefully everyone all right. That one sailed way high, but how critical it is after a goal for both teams. The shift after. If you're UMass Boston, you've got momentum now. Continue to pressure. Don't try to do too much. We've seen this team can score in waves, and if you're Manhattanville, boy, this next shift, you can take the momentum right away with some scoring opportunities of your own. Just so important here for the next 2 minutes, how important and how critical these shifts are, especially it being the second half of the third period.
Face-off won by the Beacons. They'll try to clear the zone, and they do. Brosso overskates it, and this is icing on UMass Boston on the outlet feed by Redler.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. That's a little bit of a silencer. You hear a little bit of the air left out of the crowd there on that icing.
And where we are, right behind the crowd, this place began to shake.
Yeah, that was loud. That's the loudest we've heard all night.
It's not an earthquake, folks. That's Beaconville. Beacons leading 4-3. 9:37 to go. Teed up by Knight. Save made by McBurney. And then gloves it out of the air like ripened fruit. with Platt bearing down on him, and a stoppage with 9:33 to go.
You know, one of the things I love about McBurney is he reads the puck. He's never guessing. You never see this kid guessing. He just reads it off the blade. That's a heavy shot from Knight there. From plenty of distance, you see McBurney just come out to the top of his crease, right off the chest. There's a little bit of a rebound. He just gloves it, moves on to live to see another day. Sometimes you see a goaltender try to get a little bit antsy when they know they're one-on-one with a shooter. Not this kid. He's got ice in his veins, and a good save there. Keep his team ahead. 4-3, 9:33 left in the period.
Corey Anderson back out there as he wins the face-off towards Platt. Sent all the way around near sideboards. Pinching in to poke it deep by Knight. That one careening over the net mouth, but finds Peters. What a day for Peters. And we saw Chris Peters, as this is going to come all the way in, and then Nitkin getting tied up a little bit as he went into the boards with Ramaj.
Yeah, and what's interesting there, John, the reason I think the coaching staff, the Beacons coaching staff, is going to want to chat is because Nitkin would have beat him, but he got tied up there. I didn't get a chance to see the defenseman that tied him up, but it looked like Nitkin was going to win that race, and there was a little bit of a hook there very late. So I'm curious now. The referees are talking about it. It will stay inside. That's a good call there if you're the Valiants. I thought for sure Nitkin had an opportunity. You see the crowd doesn't agree. I thought Nitkin had a chance to win that race, and then a little bit of contact. Important face-off here.
That it is, as Slade will go up with Knockbauer. Win by Slade, and the backhand chance from Beck whistles high and wide. The puck will stay in the Beacon zone.
Beacons with a chance to change here. That's a nice win on the backhand there. Knockbauer, and get his team off the ice.
And Matt, we talk about the performance of Peters today. A year and a half ago, we saw Chris Peters when he was an EHL All-Star in the exhibition to begin the 17-18 season. We saw that kid and said, there's a guy we'd like to have in Beacon Blue. Flash forward, March 2019, he may be the hero in a freshman year to remember.
Yeah, without question, just a great effort by the kid out of Rochester, New York. And on the top line here tonight, as you mentioned, as a freshman, 24 games played here, 16 points, now 18 points. With 2 goals here tonight.
Onside, no. A late whistle as Beck beat Jackson over. A break for UMass Boston and a neutral zone faceoff.
Less than 10 to play. Both coaching staffs got to remain cognizant of the matchups. And you know, if you're the Beacons, that Manhattanville's going to try to get Lippa out there, the Lippa line, as much as he can. They've been great here tonight, already with a couple of points. You've seen McLean and Lippa both be mentioned here tonight. Berglund, the bigger of the two. And this is the line Manhattanville's going to try to charge with.
Ferraro gets there in front of Santa Paz. Far side, Arfelt saucers it into the mitts of Albano, who gloves it down to his stick. Nick finds the puck on the near sideboards. Backhanded deeper by Skinner. Arfelt in front of McGregor. Sends it near side off the stick and then dumped in by Berglund. McBurney slows it down. McLean got there first, but he got his stick lifted. On a great effort by Chukrin.
Yeah, just a really nice play there to buy himself some time and now get this puck deep.
All the way in it comes. No icing. Skinner gets there first. Skinner taken into the boards. Backhand chance in front from a real tough angle by Skinner. And Santa Paz was bearing down. Skinner, another one of these freshmen recruited by Peter Belisle, along with Nitkin and Peters and Bryant. 3 of their 4 goals scored by those freshmen, Skinner and Bryant and Peters.
Well, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty evident UMass Boston just going to keep 3 guys back. And not to say they're going to sit on this 1-goal lead, but they are going to make sure they do not get caught on an odd man rush.
I apologize, Matt. All 4 scored by freshmen. Skinner, Bryant, and 2 now by Peters. How about that?
Amazing.
Regnart, not a freshman. He's a veteran. He's back on the ice after that big hit late, and then Holiday gets crunched.
God.
No whistle, no call, and Holiday is down as he is boarded behind the net, and he has to come off. He may have lost a tooth or two. We'll see as he is favoring his mouth. The Beacons de facto shorthanded till he can get off. He does, replaced by Nitkin.
Referee didn't seem to think it was from behind. I guess he gave him the benefit of the doubt on the side, and Holiday, I think, definitely cut there. We'll have to wait and see, but boy, that was a big hit there.
Behind the net it comes. Evan Helt saucers it far side for Keene. Keene finds Regnart. That's Knockbauer. Knockbauer, nice dipsy-do. Spinorama gets it all the way in, and Fever's going to have to cover that with less than 7 to go.
And you'll take that if you're UMass Boston there, John. If you don't, and I'm sure the coaching staff is reiterating this on the bench, but if you don't have a way to advance the puck or a way to get it to an area you want it, just throw it on net. Force that goaltender to cover these pucks, because now the clock can really soon become your friend. With 6:58 left to play, it's a little bit too early to be doing it, but every time you get an in-zone draw like this, it's another opportunity to possess, and at worst case, if the Valiants get the puck, they've got to go 200 feet.
Justin Holiday, the native of Akron, Ohio, is okay on the bench. Took a couple of drinks of waters, maybe spit out some blood. He's back out there. He's a hockey player. This isn't soccer. Here come the Beacons the other way. Knockbauer finds Nitkin onside. Backhand feed, back towards the point. Bono can't corral it. But the first man back's going to be Carter. He waves off McBurney, and he gets there first. From the red line, Lippa has his pocket picked by the freshman Nitkin. Another freshman excelling today. He hasn't found the scoreboard, but he's found the stat sheet in other ways.
There's a tension building in this rink right now. You can feel as this clock chips down, a shot there and a save, nice blocker save by Fever. You can feel the tension building just a little bit. I expect this final five to be something to watch, John.
Albano was shot, looking for a deflection in front, but unable to get his stick on it was Bryant. With possession, Ferraro hands it off, connecting with Lippa. Now here they come, McLean just onside, finds Lippa, a chance, he scores! And just like that, Matt Lippa gets it again, his second of the day, a whole new hockey game. It's 4-4.
Well, this is simply the Beacons failing on the back check. It just took way too long, and you expect them to give a little bit more better effort than this. You see Lippa as the guy, as F3 here, you know he's going to get the puck. I mean, you've got to try and get back as best you can. I know it's a little bit late in the shift here. You'll see on the replay, you've got their best scorer coming through. You know they're going to try to feed it to him, and no chance for McBurney. Lippa's got the release that you like to see out of a goal scorer, but not impressive if you're the Beacons on the back check. I thought for sure there'd be a little bit more effort than that, and wow, boy, great response from the Valiants to tie this thing up at 4. Just over 5 minutes to play on the 3-on-2, and a nice shot from Lippa on the glove side to beat McBurney.
Can UMass answer? It's kicked out to neutral ice. Gallagher will dump it all the way in as his team gets onside. Fever settles it down behind the net. Sent near side by Knight as it's dumped all the way in by Beck. Helt gets possession, 5:20 to go. 4-4 hockey game as this one has lived up to the hype. The Beacons led 1-0, trailed 2-1. It was 2-2, then they trailed 3-2. They took a 4-3 lead, but only for mere minutes, as Matt Lippa's second of the day has tied it up at 4. Beacons dump it in, no icing. Behind the net for Fever, 5 minutes to go in regulation time. The winner heads to SUNY Geneseo. There's a shot, that one blocked down off the leg of Carter. The loser goes home. From the far side, whiffing on the shot and then absorbing the hit from Santa Pass was Jackson. He kept it in the zone. There's a shot deflected right off the stick and then covered up by McBurney with 4:42 to go.
You know, games like this, you expect your top guys to step up, and boy, has Matt Lippa. I mean, this guy's been all over the ice. He's taken some big hits. He's not the biggest guy out there, but he's got a great release. He can really fire the thing, and he finds ways to do so. You saw already 2 goals here tonight and a couple great shots. One a slapper, that one just a quick snap from the high slot, and boy, he has really stepped up here tonight. Obviously, the Beacons were well aware of his capabilities coming into the game, and this kid has still found ways to score.
Riley in there, the 13th forward. Good play for the Beacons to poke it away. Keene's got great wheels. He gets there and is unable to get it away from Arfelt. What a play by the Swedish native.
Yeah, great job by the defenseman. Knew he was getting beat with speed. Instead, used his physicality to grab that puck and get it out of harm's way.
Beacons, though, gain possession again. Here's the 4th line. Holiday wraparound chance. Puck is loose in front, but Keene couldn't keep an edge in order to get a shot away.
Yeah, it just came real close there. Keene did, being able to tuck that one on the glove side of Fever.
Trying to break out now. Here's McLean. Kenny McLean dumps it in. Absorbs the hit from Riley. Careening around to the far side boards. Chukrin. Gabe couldn't clear it. Kept in the zone by Lippa. Lippa takes the shot. It never made its way through. Big screen in front. That shot was blocked down. And a play from Gabe Chukrin. Ramage absorbs the hit of Chukrin into the corner. Sent all the way to the far side. The 4th line still out there for the Beaks against the top line for these Valiants. Chance to send it in front by McLean for Lippa. And a huge play by McBurney to make that denial.
He was coming through. That pass gets through. It's in the back of the net. No doubt. That's a hattie for Lippa. No question. And McLean knows it. You see him talking, smiling. He knows if that puck cuts through, he finds Lippa on it. His team has the lead. Instead, McBurney was the last guy who had a chance to break it up, and he did. He was able to get the stick in the passing lane And bank it off his own pad to create the whistle. 3:40 left to play. Here we go, John. Might as well be in overtime now.
You said it. 220 seconds remain on one of these teams' seasons, perhaps, unless we see extra time. The next goal could be the game winner. Behind the net it comes into the corner. Gallagher siphoning it. Oh, tough bounce for the Beacons, right to the stick of Knight, but a great play by Nicken again as he got his stick in the shooting lane and deflects it out of play.
And you can feel Manhattanville after that call here really putting it to these Beacons. I mean, they are possessing the puck. You see the communication after each whistle. These guys are connecting, talking about what they want to do next, what they're seeing out there. Beacons could really use some offensive zone time as the last few minutes have been all Manhattanville.
Nackbauer wins it to the near side corner, and then he gets it as Gallagher was able to tie up the man, Beck. Nackbauer saucered right into the red line, and that's going to be intercepted. Couple of players collide, and that allows the puck to be sent all the way down for Fever to use the boards to careen it out to neutral ice. Delayed offsides on UMass Boston. They have to touch up. Ramage gets there, 3:08 to go. Ramage dumps it all the way in. McBurney can't slow it down, but Helt is the first man there. Evan uses his big frame to shield off the attacker. Gets it behind the net. Gallagher fists it near sideboards. Nicken watches as Nackbauer just uses the boards to get a clear and a fresh set of legs out there.
They needed it, but they got to hurry here. The Valiants are coming right back.
Dumped in by Waltott. Berglund, first man there, pokes it away from Chukrin. Near sideboards, Lippa back out there. Waltott, his shot blocked down. Beacons poke it out. Good play, Albano. But the Beacons, as you said, since that goal, not managing much offense.
Yeah, they're on their heels. No doubt about it. Got to have a good breakout, try to get some offense.
Chukrin, senior captain, slowing it down. Didn't make its way to Bryant.
That ain't it. Manhattanville's doing a great job clogging the neutral zone, something the Beacons have had all night. Some of these passing lanes are now not available, and it's really giving the Beacons a tough time on this forecheck. They don't really know where to go with the puck. Even when they do get it into the neutral zone, they're forced to dump it deep. Manhattanville doing a great job in coverage.
Ferraro for the Valiants. Used the boards, but didn't get it past Bryan, who gets crunched by Anderson. Less than 120 seconds to go in regulation time. Santa Pass fresh off the bench, and then gets taken down hard, and the whistles are silent.
Yeah, interesting play there. That's a big boy in Santa Pass. Got hauled down to the ice, no call.
Into the corner, Santa Pass in front, looking to connect there with Bryant, couldn't find him. It's going to be McGregor. Albano, though, gets it, dodges the hit, sends it in off the waffle board. 90 seconds to go. We'll have sudden death overtime if no team scores in the next 80 seconds. All the way in, Slade couldn't get it. McBurney's going to have to cover, and then takes a bit of a snow shower from Nigel Slade.
That pass gets through. It's a breakaway. That was almost the game. I don't know. I don't know if these fans realize it there, but if that pass connects, you've got Slade coming in on a breakaway with the game on his stick. Boy, that was close. Minute 20 here to play, 4-4. And once again, I mentioned the tension in the arena. You can hear it again. The fans a little bit silent, knowing that at this point, no doubt about it, it's next goal wins.
Back to the point. Ramaja shot. That one changed direction, but it was gloved away. Behind the net it comes. Gallagher watches it get to Berglund. Berglund in front. A big play from Helt. Another try. Waffle boarded away on the shot from Ramage. Back to the point. It comes for Knight. Lead in front. They score! With 64 seconds left, the Knights are valiant as Lippa's hat trick puts Manhattanville on top 5-4.
Well, great play by Manhattanville. Gets that shot through, and you saw it there, John. The reaction of McBurney confirms that he never saw it. It was redirected, and by the time he found it, it was already in the back of the net. You'll see the replay here. Manhattanville's just going to funnel this one towards the front, and sure enough, who else? Matt Lippa, the hat trick, giving his team a 5-4 lead. Minute to play here. Beacons immediately take a timeout. We'll show you the replay. This puck comes up high. Out the other side here off the initial shot, and then just flings it towards the front of the net here. And Lippa redirects it in front. McBurney doesn't get a read on it. Lippa tucks it home. I believe it'll be Lippa. We'll have to see. From my vantage point, it's Lippa with the hat trick, giving his team a 5-4 lead. This is something we've seen from Manhattanville, John. This is what they do. This is the conference play. They fought hard. They stayed in the game with Elmira, found ways to win late. Same thing with Utica in the championship for the UCHC title, and now with a minute to play, a 5-4 hockey game. Beacon's got to draw one up here.
Timeout called by Peter Belisle. UMass led 4-3 with 6 minutes to go. They now trail 5-4 with 1:04 to go, and it's Matt Lippa who scored the last 3 goals Career goals number 57, 58, and 59. As he and the Valiants of Manhattanville, their faithful invaded Beaconville well, and they are 64 seconds away from walking out pleased.
Well, the Beacons have a couple plays here, and obviously going to take a look and see what you have. I mean, you've got to run something. You don't have much time, so this might be your last face-off. You don't know. So you've got to try to win this thing and run a play to at least get yourself into the offensive zone. With 1:04 play, you'll look for the goaltender to move if they get possession. You can't do it on the offensive draw in case Manhattanville gets it. You've got to possess.
Face-off won by the Beacons. Albano, though, didn't gain possession. Knockbar far side. Beacons dump it all the way in.
There goes McBurney. Here we go. 6-on-5. Under a minute to go.
Far side. Beacons try to gain possession. Puck still loose towards the blue line. Still in the zone. Now it is out of the zone, and that's a delayed offsides. And that is critical and a killer because still offsides is Zach Bross. The clock ticking to 35 and an empty net. Sitting down ice, dumped all the way in. That's a gutsy play call, and not a very smart one at that, if you ask me.
I'm absolutely shocked. John, I am absolutely shocked that he tried that. You're winding down the clock. You've got 30 seconds. You just put it off the glass. Try to put it to an area where you don't take an icing. You effectively win the hockey game. To ice that puck and go for the empty net. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Any chance that UMass Boston had is off this play now. Yeah, 30 seconds, you've got an in-zone draw on the icing, and you're going to take a timeout. John, I am shocked at that decision there.
It was Oscar Arfelt, the senior from Stockholm, Sweden.
Arfelt to ice that, and he's talking to the referees, but to go for the empty net, you've got a delayed offsides. UMass Boston doesn't have a move, and all you have to do as a defenseman there, you can
skate behind your net.
You can pass it, you can eat the clock, you can chip it to the neutral zone, but to go for the empty net in a situation like that, I mean, you have got to, that is all risk reward. I'm shocked. So we'll have to see. We've got 30.9 left. It's going to be an in-zone draw. So UMass Boston, now Manhattanville takes their timeout. So I would expect McBurney to remain on the bench. So you're going to have a 6-on-5. Now, I don't know who they'll go with as a center. McGregor's been good here tonight. They've got a couple options here, which center it's going to be. And we'll have to see what Manhattanville does for coverage. So for UMass Boston, it'll be Knockbauer, looks like Chukrin, Bross, Redler, Santapass, and Albano for UMass Boston. Manhattanville coming out with their 5. I see Waltott on D. You got Hapo, Jackson, Dearson, and then the center, Slade. Here we go, 30 seconds.
Beacons win the face-off, keep it in the zone. Bross got to find somebody to pass it to. Couldn't find Chukrin. It's going to be dumped down. 22 seconds to go. Bross wheels it and it's going to go in towards the Beacons bench. Albano peels back, deflected towards the net. They score. And the Manhattanville Valiants take a 6-4 lead. And slamming his stick is Nick Albano. But it won't do any good as the Beacons will fall in the first round of the NCAA Tournament at home.
You know, boy, just one thing, you know, and it's easy for me to say, you know, I'm not on the ice, but boy, would love to see Bross try and get that puck deep. And you had some possession there. I think he tried to feed it along the blue line. Manhattanville came out with high pressure, and he didn't really have a clean look. Would have loved to seen him just try to throw that thing deep, but instead here, Manhattanville's going to walk out of here with a W. Great effort. This team, I'll tell you what, folks, look out. They are hot right now, finding ways to win hockey games.
That one kicked away by Fever. Boston is in an Empire state of mind. In a truly valiant performance, Manhattanville advances to the 2019 NCAA quarterfinal to take on SUNY Geneseo, an Empire State battle in the NCAA quarterfinal as they defeat the UMass Boston Beacons in Boston by the final score of 6-4.
Well, great effort. I mean, what a hockey game. Great effort there. Manhattanville, again, finding ways to win these hockey games. It's amazing what this team is doing. Didn't come in highly ranked, but beating some of the top teams, not just in their conference, but now in the nation. And they'll move on to play SUNY Geneseo in the semifinal round. You see UMass Boston devastating loss here at home. Had opportunities to win this hockey game, had the lead late in the third. Manhattanville scoring 2 unanswered goals, 3 with the empty netter. As you see both teams shaking hands, but John, a great effort by both teams here, and obviously we got to have one winner and one loser tonight was Manhattanville.
The end of the collegiate careers for the likes of Garrison Sanapass, Justin Holliday, Johnny Regnart, Garrett Gallagher, John Bono, Brian Carter, and Gabe Chukrin, as well as Anthony D'Urso on the Beacons bench. It was truly an inspired performance by UMass Boston, who overcame a 3-2 deficit late in the second to take a 4-3 lead. And on the backs of their 4 phenom freshmen, Nitkin, Bryant, Skinner, and especially Chris Peters, the Beacons gave Manhattanville their all. But in the end, the quarterfinal will be New York, New York.
Just amazing what this Manhattanville team's doing. I mean, it really is. You're just continuing to find ways to win these hockey games, John. You know, what they did in the conference to take both games to the extra mini game and win. And then here tonight, weren't really in a position to win the game. It really felt like UMass Boston was going to be the team to get the W. They scored late, gave themselves the lead at 4-3. And you kind of felt like UMass Boston really was in a position to win as the time ran down. It really just felt like they had it. And then Manhattanville answers. They tie it up. Lippman with the hat trick in front was able to redirect it home. And then to score again thereafter to give themselves the lead. Boy, what a game. Manhattanville doing some crazy stuff right now. They are a hot hockey team.
1 loss since January 26th, and they are on their way to the quarterfinals of the 2019 Division III Men's Ice Hockey Championship. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll get you the final stats, 3 stars, and more right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
When you're in college, you kind of find out who you are. And throughout your 4 years, you develop yourself with all the different experiences, which leads into dedicating yourself to your community, to your family. So when you're a senior, you're coming out a well-rounded person.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests outside of the classroom and outside of the court or field. I've had the ability to get into different activities and organizations, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
Getting to be involved in a lot of different things, ranging from obviously being a student athlete to getting involved with my campus and my community, and not only being allowed to do that, but being encouraged to do that.
The opportunity to be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, to have the professors know me on a personal level, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference. It really helps you develop thinking from other people's perspectives and looking at problems from outside the box.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
I've definitely learned how to really be myself. I found out, yes, I am actually a good leader, and yes, I can actually put myself forward because I am good enough. I can do it. Coming in to college, I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of different career goals, and I've learned so much about myself that I was always like growing and changing.
When I got to college, it forced me to step up and become more of a leader. And I think that was something I had the capability of doing. And forever grateful that being at a Division III school gave me that opportunity.
You have to dedicate your time in the classroom. You have to dedicate your time in the gym, on the field, on the court.
Our coaches and the entirety of the athletic department, they valued the student athlete going out to community and trying something new and getting involved in campus life.
You can get involved in so many different things.
So the possibilities are truly limitless for what you can do with your college experience. You can kind of make it your own in the Division III setting. So I would encourage people who want to have flexibility to pursue different interests and passions to go D3.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn, as we all do, that in giving we receive so much more in return.
Sport ennobles us. And in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Skudris, joined by Matt Meisenbacher. UMass Boston season comes to an end at the hands of the Valiants of Manhattanville in a valiant effort by the natives of Rye, New York. They trailed 4-3 with just over 5 minutes to go, but 2 more goals from Matt Lippa, a hat trick for the senior, and then the empty netter. 6-4 the final score. And Matt, we're putting up the final stats on the screen, and we'll talk about it. The Beacons out shooting Manhattanville 40-25, and as we've seen so much over the years, the Beacons out shooting their opponent precipitously and coming out with the L.
Yeah, you know what? First of all, what a hockey game. I mean, you talk about some back and forth. Both teams just continuing to answer. Every time a goal was scored, it felt like soon thereafter the opposing team would come down and score. So what an effort by both these teams. You see the stats, John. Really, fairly even hockey game. The shots on goal a little bit lopsided. Credit to the goaltender, Fever, for Manhattanville. Really did a great job, especially on that penalty kill. I mean, he had 6 or 7 stops there alone on that one PK. A great effort by him from a goaltending perspective. Really thought the Beacons had it there. Scoring late at home like that. I think it was about 3 minutes, 40 seconds left in the hockey game there in the third period. And at home like that, boy, you just feel like if you could get one late, you'll take it. I think if pregame, if you had asked Coach Blyle, hey, if I give you the lead with 3 minutes and 40 seconds, he'd probably say, yeah, I'll take that. But instead, again, repeating myself here, but Manhattanville continuing to find a way to score, and who else but Matt Lippa? We talked about him in the pregame. We mentioned him in every period, and here he is with the game-tying goal and the game-winning goal. Was able to find himself in the slot there to tie it up at 4, and then gets the redirect there with about a minute left to give his team the lead. And then a couple empty netters there, an empty net there to give his team a 6-4 win. But boy, oh boy, a great hockey game. Matt Lippa really doing what he could to give his team the W. We knew he was a top goal scorer in the country coming in, and he lived up to it here tonight.
He certainly did, as he and the Valiants take down UMass Boston. Let's take a look at the 3 stars of the game. Matt Lippa, no surprise, our top star with the hat trick and a game-winning goal. Almost 120 career points for Lippa in his career, and he put an exclamation point on it tonight. Chris Peters, one of many freshmen to excel for the Beacons. All their goals scored by freshmen. Peters got the last 2. The first was scored by Bryant. The one in the middle scored by Skinner. and it was the freshman who came to play. Meanwhile, Tyler Fever, we talked about him pregame, the numbers, a save percentage under 900, a goals against average approaching 3, but he's been outstanding over the last month, and he showed that in hockey, a hot goalie can do a lot. He wasn't perfect tonight, but on the power play, he was perfect as he limited the Beacons, and they got the win.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit like a Grant Fuhrer, where the numbers don't really pop out to you, but he makes that save when you need him to. And you saw there on that penalty kill, UMass Boston continued through everything they had at him. He just made save after save. Neither goaltender is going to have statistics that pop out or really look outstanding, but I thought both goaltenders made some saves when they needed to. But I can't say enough how impressive that Matt Lippa kid is. I mean, to get the hat trick as well as the game-tying and game-winning goal, I mean, that's all stuff that you really dream about as a kid. When the game is on the line and your team needs you the most, you put up the best numbers. And watch out for this Manhattanville team. They are very hot right now. And if I'm SUNY Geneseo, I am not taking them lightly. This is a team that is extremely confident in the way that they played. You mentioned one loss since January, the beginning of 2019, only one loss on the calendar year. Very impressive what this team is doing.
And Matt, we've talked about the freshmen. We didn't see any seniors get on the scoreboard tonight, but this is going to be our last chance on the air to talk about a lot of these guys, that being Sanapass, McGregor, Holiday, Regnart, Chukrin, Gallagher, Carter, Bono, and Durso. Talk a little bit about those guys and how much of an impact they've had over the last 4 years and how much they'll be missed.
Yeah, what a class. We talked about it on senior night. It's rare to get double digits in a class. You might come in as freshmen in double digits if you need a big freshman effort, but it's rare to keep them all for 4 years. I mean, you just mentioned how many of these guys have contributed to the program. And, it's a graduating class that will sorely be missed. A lot of key guys, a lot of guys that you lean upon in games and situations like this. What a class. What an effort. And you know what? A credit to them. They're on to good things now in the next chapter in their lives.
Go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to interview with the winning coach, Arlen Marshall of Manhattanville.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day. I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations.
John Scooter's post-game with Coach Arlen Marshall of the Manhattanville Valiants. Coach, what a valiant performance by your team today, and what was a back-and-forth affair between both teams. It could have gone either way in the end. You guys came out on top. How proud are you of your team tonight and really over the last couple months?
Extremely proud. I can't it's really hard to describe, but they're playing really resilient hockey, hard hockey, and they're finding ways to win. But that UMass Boston, man, they're a good team. They could have went either way. Lucky bounce in front of the net, deflection, off a skate or a leg, whatever it was. We'll definitely take it, but what a hockey game.
Absolutely. Matt Lippa scoring the final 3 goals of the game, getting you guys back in it, and then getting the game-winning goal. What a season, what a career for Lippa. How critical has he been not only to the success on the ice, but off the ice as well as a leader for these young players on your roster?
Yeah, he's been really good. His personality fits in really well with our locker room, with our culture. He's an important piece of our locker room, important piece of our lineup on the ice. You want your best players to show up in the big games. He sure did tonight, and the rest of the guys followed him and stepped up. There's a lot of guys. He got rewarded on the score sheet for sure, but there was a lot of guys that stepped up in big ways, away from the score sheet. But yeah, it's good to have Matt Lippa on your lineup.
Absolutely. Tyler Fever, what a performance by your netminder tonight. The numbers this year, they aren't sparkling, but over the last couple of weeks, he has been everything you could have wanted and more. And tonight, limited the Beacons, shut them out on the power play, and he was a key reason to your victory.
Yeah, no, you need your goalie to play big. He played a big game tonight for us. He made some big stops. He weathered, some pretty furious attacks from UMass. They're good when they get rolling in transition, when they get rolling, below the dots. They got some sharp shooters over there, and he stepped up, made some big saves, and held us in and gave us a chance to win. That's all you can ask for a goalie.
Certainly was everything you could ask for and more. Now, your power play this year, scoring at a quarter clip, 25% coming into play, and you guys got it done again today, 50%, 2 for 4. How often do you work on that power play, and how much is that hard work critical to your success this season?
But we actually don't work on it a whole lot in practice. We'll look at things, we'll implement some things, but we'll show them a little bit of video, a little bit of X's and O's. It helps having smart, sharp hockey minds on both units. That we'll throw something at them, they pick it up pretty good. But tonight both units, I think both units scored a goal.
Certainly.
Tonight, Lippa's unit and then the other unit scored in the first period as well. So it's special teams battle is always it's in our game plan. Tonight was game number 31. It was in our game plan and game number 1. It always plays a factor, and we won on both sides of it, and that was a big difference in tonight's game.
It's a bit of a hike up here from Rye, New York, but you guys really filled the stands here in Beaconville and Boston. You have a great fan base, very passionate fan base. How much does that help you guys winning games like this on the road?
A lot. The staff here in UMass Boston, the administration's been top notch. But we have really good administration on our end too, with Ed Bonetta and Julian Caulfield, and for them to provide a fan bus for all of our students that are on campus because it's spring break, but for them to come up, and a lot of parents, families, friends. We have alums that guys that drove in or from a local or coming from the city, and guy that flew in from Alberta to watch this game. So it means a lot to me as the coach of the program to see that kind of support, and I know it means a ton to our players too.
One more for you, Coach. Next week, you guys have a tough matchup against a fellow New York squad, SUNY Geneseo. What do you expect from them? It's going to be another hard-fought hockey game like tonight.
Yeah, we better have our A game and more. They're the real deal. They're good. They're deep at all 4 lines. They got deep defensemen, and they got one probably the Sid Watson National Player of the Year in between the pipes for them. So it's going to be a big challenge for us. It's been a long time since Manhattanville has played at Geneseo. It's going to be a hard-fought game. We're going to get some film on them and do our part to make sure that we're prepared, and then next Saturday the lights turn on and we'll see how it shakes out. We'll be the underdog again, and we're fine with that. We embrace it. Our guys are stepping up and enjoying it, but we get to play another week of hockey.
That's all that matters. Arlen Marshall, head coach of the valiant and victorious Manhattanville College squad. A victory today, 6-4 over UMass Boston Beacons. They advance to the quarterfinals of the 2019 D3 Men's Ice Hockey National Championships. Coach, we'll let you go celebrate with your boys. A big victory as they get set to take on SUNY Geneseo. We'll be right back. Absolutely, Coach.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Back atop Clark Athletic Center, John Scudras and Matt Meisenbacher. Matt, tough loss for the Beacons tonight. But Coach Arlen Marshall showed his gratitude not only to Coach Belisle and his team and how impressive they were, but also to Beaconville and how helpful the administration was and how solid our fan base is. That's going to be a tough team for SUNY Geneseo to take on.
I love the matchup. I will be tuning into that one. You've got a Geneseo team that really has been strong, one loss all year. Goaltender who's posting. Go look, folks. If you're still listening to us, go look at this goaltender's numbers. They're better. You think McBurney's are good? They're fantasy land. It's a Geneseo team that really is very strong, and they walk in and will have a Manhattanville team that's on top of the world. You want to talk about a confident hockey team to be down on the road with 3:40 to play and find a way not just to tie it, but to win it in regulation. Pretty impressive. This Lippa kid is the real deal. He finds ways to not just score, but score in a timely manner. Very impressive with the way Manhattanville has been finding ways to win these hockey games. It's going to be a great matchup next week between these two teams.
Let's take one final look at the highlights from the third period. It began with the Beacons on the onslaught and ended with Manhattanville celebrating on their ice. Matt, take it away.
Yeah, we'll run it here. So, a couple saves. This is a nice shot, a good stop here. McBurney played pretty well. He had some goals that I think he was frustrated on just based on the way the play broke down. But overall, I thought he played pretty well. And UMass Boston got a power play here about halfway through the third period. I thought this is where Fever took over. And, he really put the pressure on UMass Boston to score. It was 3-3 at this point, and then this is the no goal. You're going to see here in front, there's some traffic. It looked like the puck did eventually go in, but immediately waved off by the referee. UMass Boston responded almost immediately here. Santa Pass in front, same play. They continue to get the puck towards the front of the net, and then they found Peters on the back door, give themselves the lead with 10 minutes to play. It was a 4-3 hockey game, and then after this, just Manhattanville continuing to put the pressure on. Nice shot there. Now you're going to find Manhattanville's going to score. You're going to see this puck come out into the neutral zone on a breakout, and then watch UMass Boston's going to get caught. 1-2 guys. Lippa, that back check here, I really thought was lacking by UMass Boston. Not quite sure who that was from that angle, but boy, you've got Matt Lippa coming through the slot. You've got to find a way to tie him up in a hockey game like that. That made it 4-4, and then under 2 minutes to play here. That was the hit on Garrison. We thought might have been a penalty, and then Manhattanville's going to finish things off here. There's a shot. Puck's going to come out to the other side. Now watch to the back door here. As this puck's funneled through, puck is redirected. Matt Lippa gets the hat trick as well as what would eventually be the game-winning goal. Manhattanville add an empty netter here as UMass Boston with 15 seconds left was just trying to create some offense. The puck's turned over. That made it a 6-4 hockey game. Manhattanville walks out of here with a W, but a great effort by both teams here tonight. And like you said before, one team had to win. In this case, it was Manhattanville. They're moving on to play Geneseo next week.
That they are. Manhattanville wins it 6-4. I want to thank my production team. Guys, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. You guys have been fantastic all year long, every single one of you. We could not do it without you. From Seth Orensky, Gigi Braga, Alyssa Fusial on down.
Students.
The students here on Beaconville. Yeah. It's impressive the performance that they can put together in their spare time for very little money, I guarantee you. And yet here they are coming out here. A lot of them student athletes in between, whether or not it's practicing, playing games, they come out here to help support their fellow athletes and help us put on a top-notch production here at the D3 level.
Yeah.
I thank them for that. Matt, I thank you as well for coming out again here tonight and every night here for Beacons Hockey, whether it's with myself, Seth, or anyone else. You are one of the top color commentators, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, the best color commentator that I have ever worked with. For Matt Meisenbacher, absolutely. For Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Scooters. The Manhattanville Valiants clinch a trip to the quarterfinals of the 2019 D3 Ice Hockey Championships. It's a New York battle between Manhattanville and SUNY Geneseo. Until next season, good night, good luck, and good hockey. We'll see you right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.